Okay, no, this is not my gambling character. I just played a gambling character called hold on, what was his name? Alright, so I just it was an entirely gambling based character. His father was killed in a gambling accident, so he took on gambling as his way of revenge.
What? When his father
Uh
died, was his last
killed.
words, "You gave me loaded dice" or something?
no, he
Father
actually
was killed in
he
a gambling
yeah,
accident.
he accidentally cut himself on an extremely sharp card, and he was already anemic
Ouch.
from gambling too long.
It's not even a
Uh,
good one. It's like embarrassing.
yeah. His name was okay. It's a
At least the
hobgoblin
It's not even like
bar
he got
College of
stabbed because
Spirits
he was
bard.
cheating. Like it's just
No,
like
no,
he
he
cut
just cut himself
himself
on a
on a
card.
card.
His name's Deckert Donger, the Cardmonger.
You are midday in the month of Ghosts. It's often called by people. And Amu stands atop the walls of the Beast Keep, surveilling the civil battles between Second and Fifth House. Renas versus the technology of the far lands. Yet, the spewing of the bile, the blood, seemingly there's this other fluid that came from the Tarrasque that worries this Musteli druid. And this other fluid, not knowing it, is the extra worry behind it, but is just how much was released from the purge. Birdman simultaneously is climbing up the face, head, neck, and eventually shoulders of the beast, being led by the God Butchers, Jaeger, and Meat Masher. And he too is able to surveil the battlefield and sees north Killian fighting, which is what I will describe here in a moment. Thrashing, slamming, going through Renas and Froghemoths, but things got complicated. Fawin is still at the 11th House Tower, using its scrying eyes that interconnect throughout the city to view this battle and other key events within the city. He decides, though, he needs to prepare more for what comes next, and he begins to do research within the 11th house for key spells he needs for his master plans. Additionally, he spends time with Thelis, working towards repairing the fallen Warforged, and he also researches about the former 12th house before the Drow, the matron mother, and how no one knows what happened to that person, that body. Maybe Orcafor or someone else, another Binder Lord, but there's not much information in the library itself. Back near the center, we are with Venator, as he is invisible, dancing enraged among the 5th and 2nd house, slaughtering their minions and warriors, leaving them eventually confused, thinking a drow attacked, teleporting back to the 11th house.
A little bit of murder, as a treat.
Yeah. Eventually meeting back up with Fawin. But back atop the Tarrasque, Birdman, trying to get the view of the city, he sees Mel moving in with her quote-unquote militia through the Throat and Spillway, and he also views the developments kind of north of continuing with the little brawl that's going on with Killian, and then this little Musteli person comes up to him, Amu, and also trying to gain a better advantage, and they discuss the fluids, they discuss the God Butchers, and how this unsanctioned surgery has gone under everyone's noses. They eventually agree to return to the Blackwell Tavern, having found that they're both loosely part of the 10th house. And they discuss the survival needs of the city are not what the city needs to live, and the resources are being tapped and pressured to a point that Amu in specific is worried for the future of the city. Birdman, being so distraught from his previous engagements with Pio and Mel in the session before, does, I think, sympathize with Amu, but there's a wait of like, somewhere in the next 13 hours, his life's going to completely change based upon the choices of both Mel and Pio. So the choice of the city now being weighted is up in question because the city begins to react. There's kind of not a mass exodus, but people are leaving. People, the Tarrasque has moved. There's been various weird things that have happened in the last couple days. And then while there's more people out on the streets just than average. And there's a reaction throughout the city as people are claiming there's this giant eagle soaring above. Does 3 or 4 passes over the city. And the eventually lands in the main gate that opens into the throat from the spillway of the city assault. During all this, Setch has escaped the God Butchers and Birdman that were also sort of looking for him. And he finds himself perched on the eastern wall of the keep and again begins to target the giant siege machines, the ballistae, and that are designed to repel, if not hopefully stop the Tarrasque if it ever wakes again. And he, in the process of destroying 2 of those, is when this eagle creature kind of flies over and lands, and he decides to disguise himself as a young red-skinned orc and go join the throng of people. He sees eventually, as he gets to the westernmost point of the city, this spectacle, this performance by this small dancer with kind of golden hair, praying and singing in Dwarven, and she, by the description of the other people around, said she's the pilot. Like, she climbed out of the chest of this creature, this eagle. Some say an angel, are calling it an angel. And Killian is still fighting in the center, and Mel, now being forced by the throng of people to kind of make their way more west, but still holding back, looking from afar. We had that moment with Birdman and whatnot where they kind of saw each other as they were joining, and we returned to the 11th house tower towards the end with Venator and Fawin. Basically, this distraction is they do not like the tone of it, so they're going to see what these Dwarven Confederates want, more or less. And so everyone's kind of heading west into that part of the city, and I'll jump back to that map here momentarily. What I want to describe here is kind of what Killian's been involved with, as he a few sessions ago ran into the fray, and first and foremost, he comes in, and a few Renas druids that are protecting the seal, they just had sent their Froghemoths to the front line with a couple other druids, as presumably Anton and the bullies, as they, would have called them more or less, with his other, entourage, have come to, obviously start a ruckus of some sort. The 5th house has just taken back their own seal that was taken by these people, so there's a little bit of push back and forth between that. It soon escalates. Froghemoths are grabbing people, swallowing people, eating people, throwing people around. Renas druids are healing and supporting the Froghemoths with various druidic spells. Guns, eventually snipers show up that are hidden atop the shoulder of the Tarrasque that are part of the 5th house and start shooting down and taking out people. Anton very quickly gets distracted by something. No one's quite sure what he sees, even his own people. and he kind of separates from them, and this is at the same time Killian gets really super involved, and the druids eventually like hawk a giant loogie all over Killian, and that allows the Froghemus to like recognize him as like a buddy, and they like assist each other and whatnot, and like you're trying to grab him, and like the Froghemus are like, no, that's my food, and like taking them, and like, you know, you're punching people and stuff. I don't know. I enjoyed the imagery when I was writing it out, and but the Froghemus eventually get overwhelmed by the ranged weapons that Anton has on his side, the guns and things like that, but no one knows where Anton is, and then eventually there's a couple magic casts that get around the wrist that get cast, and people see there's a fight that's broken out between Anton and Orcafor, and they're loosely engaged for a few moments. Anton has an axe at one point with Orcafor down on the wrist, like on his back, and the axe is at his throat. And you're engaged with all the other chaos by this point, and you're about to turn around, and then this giant whirlwind appears and just and starts to mess up everyone. And throw all these. One of the dwarves gets thrown and killed, thrown 150 feet. A couple other people just get eaten by the whirlwind. And then there's a couple fireballs and things that get thrown off as Orcafor has some other mages that obviously fly in after him and leave him and Anton to their family squabble, is what it best looks like. By the time you're able to wrap up and get away from the whirlwind, it looks like Anton and or Orcafor were able to convince one or the other to join forces and try to take this seal as the second as the 11th and 5th house. And so the wizards and what's left of the alchemists, who got pretty fucked up by the Froghemus, fuck up the druids, fuck up the Renas, messing up everything. And you have been... There's this one wizard that you've been dealing with that like is the strongest one that's been summoning that other than Orcafor. And you didn't notice Orcafor till you get up on the top of the shoulder and see him, and he has this magical globe around him, and everyone else is down here. Most of the Froghemus are gone by this point. Most of the Renas are gone. It's just, you know, you're kind of alone in some ways. And at that point, you hear a couple howls from the west as the guards from the seal of the first house have finally like reacted and gathered, and there's a pack that's formed that's coming up from there. And then there's also, you see behind you, you hear, they're not being very quiet, there's a small squad of Mustelli from the 6th house that have climbed up over the Tarask finally in these few moments to be like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And while those three things are happening, you on there seeing Orcafor, the whirlwind chasing after you, this flying wizard over here, the howls, right? And this little squad, all these things are happening is when the eagle goes over and the entire city is going, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? And it does it 2 or 3 more times and then lands. So everyone kind of pauses in this fight that's going on, like, what the fuck is that? And that's where we're going to kind of pick up for Killian. So my first question is, Killian, where does Killian go? What does he want to do?
Where's the big bird? Where's Big Bird?
The big bird has flown west. It will be off this map. It'll only take you a few minutes to run there. Yes.
My eyes are on Orcafor. Orcafor is going to be the one. What is he doing? That is the biggest thing here.
Orcafor is probably at this point, after viewing the birds, seeing you notice him. He has magic that he's obviously concentrating on, and he is in the process to yelling out orders to someone that you can't see. There's lots of magic, so he has at least 2 wizards with him. One of them you lost track of. He probably is invisible or something by this point. Oh, yeah. So yeah, and these guys down here are sort of again, like they're not on. This is, and here's Anton down here. Anton and his people are regrouping down here, and like they haven't quite noticed where you've gone yet. It's kind of like the implication everyone assumes that, you know, the whirlwind took care of everyone up here, but you're a fucking giant. So
Hard to
it
throw
didn't.
there. I'm,
You're too
you
big.
know,
Yeah, you being
close to
huge,
the
it can't
size of
throw
the
you.
whirlwind.
Yeah, like if you were, I was like, it was just like if you couldn't change huge, it could still throw you because it can throw large creatures or smaller. But yeah, so.
I think I am size huge, so I'd be weighing like a.
Oh yeah, you weigh way too
ridiculous
much.
weight.
Way too much.
Yeah,
Like
ridiculous.
so it did
weight.
a little bit of damage to you. That's why your health's a little lower. Is the whirlwind hit you a couple times with like the bludgeoning, but you're resistant, and you got hit once or twice by one of the snipers. But other than that, you were So yeah, what do you want to do?
Okay.
There's so much going on right now.
So fucking much going on. I need to. Okay, I'm gonna. You know, I think he'd probably. Okay, I'm probably like 12,000 pounds or something. That's fine. I could probably stand still. Orca4, that guy. I need to make sure this seal situation is cool. And then you know, it's sort of in the direction. So, what I'm gonna do is see, Orca4's down there. I'm gonna. I wanna. Me personally, I wanna just like fucking squish him, but that's not what Killian would do.
Are you sure about that?
Are you quite sure?
You have hate, you have anger, you have rage, but you don't use it. Killian.
He's got rage. He definitely has. But
You're still raged, man.
He wants him to be
You're also high enough level now to where you
so badly he wants him to be a red stain, but you know this is not okay. I'm gonna.
This is not the way, Killian.
This is not the way. This is not the way.
What I'd like to do is like sort of like quickly like jump down to this area. Like just making my way.
You're big enough to where it's not difficult terrain. You just move.
And I see Orca4, I see Anton. I just like I look at Anton. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Anton a glare, like you are too small for me to care about. I can crush you. And then I look over to Orca4, and I'm just going to stand down now. You see what is in the skies. This is not the time to try and gain more power. The city is at risk. You will have no other chance.
You're right. I'll have no other chance. Attacks anyway.
Orca for
the seal.
For a creature as old as he's purported to be, from Killian's point of view, for someone as powerful as he's purported to be, the fear and confusion is quite apparent on his face as he looks back and forth at these. And then as you look at him more closely, you can see he shimmers kind of back and forth. He has some magic that is displacing him within existence, and he's trying to protect himself as much as possible. And in those few moments you see he has a wound from the fight with Anton that was quite significant. So whatever was said was something that was quite drastic. So the look he gives you, seeing this giant form, I'm going to have him roll an intelligence save.
He got his ass kicked by his cousin.
This is either a chance where he can there's no fucking like druids left, so he's gonna have to leave his forces here. So hey, buddy, you won. Either you can come with me right now.
Like Orca4 has the underhand right here. He only has a couple guys he brought, where Anton still has that handful down here. And from what you've seen from this dwarf here, this is a guy. Anton and this dwarf together, you'd worry about. Like these two are pretty strong. And then he has a couple other things that are flying around. You see one of them up here. It's a small Animaesus. You can't really pinpoint it, but they've been buzzing around like throwing bombs or something, and they're like, yeah.
Oh god, and Orcafor is vulnerable right now.
He's pretty vulnerable right now. Like he's pretty much like
the 5th house is right next to me.
Wait.
Oh
yeah. So he's like so Orcafor. He kind of realizes he's in that situation. He realizes he's in that like oh shit. And he's like showing that emotion when he normally doesn't at all, and he rights himself. Like stands more upright and like dusts off his chest a little bit, straightens his long little white beard, and I think, and he said he starts to like echo his voice a little louder, to try to go towards both Anton and you. I think the young Lord and Knight of the First House is speaking something to right. We spoke of these things, did we not? A few days ago. Developments from the south. Dwarven mechs.
When it's been like 2 days, I think.
Yeah. And Anton is looking towards Killian with like his war axe is still out, and he's not sure if he should fight or not, kind of thing. You have definitely gained quite a few momentum points. To fully convince them to follow your idea and not modify it to their own plan, I need some sort of charisma check. Like intimidation definitely makes sense here.
I'm trying to. Sorry, I was trying to calculate how fucking loud I could be, just because of how.
And if this is one of those situations because your might has definitely been shown in the last few months. Where if you would like to use a strength-based check instead of a charisma, I think it could.
I do strength intimidation.
Yes, I think that could make sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
So what do I have? Okay, so that'd be a +6 plus. Okay, so a +11 to that. All right, so I'll just do a plus. On intimidation, I'll do a +4. All right. So that's just 17. Then, and then what was I doing? No, it's just 17. I'm gonna just yell out. Leave a contingent here. You've won the seal now. We can deal with all of this politics afterwards. Our enemy is here. Let us, at least, show a united front, even though we have none.
Orcafor, some of his magic dissipates. The whirlwind dissipates behind you at that. And the Orcafor casts another spell on him to allow him to kind of fly and move a little quicker. And I believe we need to go together. Yes, indeed. Anton? And Anton is... he looks like someone who just got back his like prized toy and you're telling him to walk away from it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And like he's been successful at that. He looks at Orcafor, looks at you, and then he turns back to this dwarf, gives orders to the dwarf that loosely entail probably him leaving a few of his men here. And there's an argument between him and this human that is not something you expect. Like their body language hints towards an argument that isn't about any of this at all. And eventually this guy is more or less ordered to stay, and Anton climbs up.
I'm still actively in a rage. If any of this takes like longer than I want at all, I'm just gonna like yell at the people that are taking a while. Like
okay.
Or just let out a growl that just like vibrates.
You would yell during their conversation, and Anton would get gruntled, but then come and join, and then there's
I think he just basically just barks at them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. There is eventually there's a Avis that joins and follows Orcafor, and then there's this small birdkin, maybe a hummingbird or something, and then another small bug person that start to follow Orcafor with you. And I would like to give you 3 inspiration point, Nova, for ending this peacefully without killing either of them.
I
Yes.
so badly wanted to I wanted to just go fucking crazy and just turn Orcafor into dust and then immediately sprint at Anton. Oh my god.
Sark would have done it.
Sark. If Sark was in front of Orcafor, nothing else would matter. He would do everything to kill him. That's it.
Yeah.
Also, Orcafor would probably kill Sark. So.
You are soon greeted within a few moments by a couple of the pack knights of the city that have obviously been ordered to reinforce the seal over the last few days. They come with a small other pack of Lupin, who all nod at you with confused deference as you pass by, acknowledging that they don't want to fight any of you, that you're like, oh, okay, what was going on, but also acknowledging that you're doing something important, obviously, but now they're, once you pass, they're going to go probably over there. So if you would like to, reinforce their purpose to align with yours, you can take that opportunity now.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I want to quickly we're dealing with the largest threat to the city. Make sure the binds are secured here. And watch, if you can, make sure Anton's men don't get clever with anything. Other than that, we are presenting a united front against our would-be invaders. Our inner conflicts will be dealt with later.
from behind you, you hear one of the weird animal kin languages as this other group of guys kind of just show up in these same few moments, and he gives orders to these 2 other little ratkin, and then this guy starts to follow with you all. He just is with you all, going with you. He's someone from the 6th house. You know that just by how he's dressed, but other than that, I don't think you know who he is.
He looks chill though, so I'm cool with it.
But you guys soon. I didn't want to do that. Well, I sort of wanted to do that. You soon join into the other. We're gonna go back to the city map here. Just need to fix a couple things.
Yeah, that guy looks like he'd play a pot of weed on a daily basis.
Pot of weed.
Okay.
It allows me to draw as many cards as I want, man.
It's a rare card indeed. As rare as Exodia.
Oh goodness. Okay. Killian, I would like you to roll a perception check with advantage.
Okay. I smell fuckery. 25.
25. Okay. It's a mixture of you just hear something that's weird behind you that sounds like a weird screech or something, and then also the reaction of the Mistelli and the 2 flyers, the little bug person and bird person. They all kind of turn around really abruptly, and you it's all of those things that just set off in a moment. And you see the tail end of someone coming out of an invisibility spell as this frog person guts this lizard folk wizard that's part of Orcafor's crew, and just like fully just like through the chest with a rapier, just
Oh my god.
and the Squamata, red skin Squamata guy, who's one of Orcafor's like protector guys that obviously was like told to stay behind or whatnot, falls to his knees, and there is a small skirmish going on between what Killian can best perceive as the Platutu trying to single-handedly take out what's left of the Fifth House crew while you guys are too far enough away to do anything about it. And then God knows what. He looks crazed in his kind of eyes at this point. The Mustelli guy behind you just looks at you with that look of... and turns in such a way that he's like directed in that direction, but he looks at you with such a look as like, do you want me to take care of it, or are you taking care of this? And Orgo looks like he's going to go back and join with his other wizard.
I'm more impressed that the Platutu killed Square.
Like, Orcafor looks back and he tells this other wizard to go take care of it, and then Orcafor is going to go back this way. And there's also that simultaneous where he looks at Anton like, what are you going to do about this? Because this is a completely...
How far away is this?
You're, by this point, like, a couple 100 feet away.
Okay. What's like the exact place? Because where's where the frog at?
Where that frog be?
All right. Since we're still on that, you're still on that map. Let me resituate.
Seeing,
let me
do.
resituate, and then I'll show you.
Because this will be at the other bind, not the bind on the map. Like this is off map, isn't it?
No, this is on map.
Oh, okay. Square's a bitch. He didn't do anything.
Okay, so like you guys are.
If it wasn't the Platutu, probably would have been Farwin.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna move you just a hair more.
It's like, I wanted to strangle that lizard.
All right, so
exactly.
yeah. All right, focused ping. I love that this mechanic now exists. All right. So that's the Platutu as he's gutting people. He guts this guy. You guys are about where you are at the map, about to like go through the prime gate that's just off the map, and he guts him, and then
he an absolute menace.
And then he's going over to this guy, and what's left of Anton's crew other than this dwarf are fucked up after what they've been through. Like, these two guys literally got eaten and somehow survived the Froghemus by stabbing enough inside of it to make them get thrown up. Like, you watched part of that. So they look really fucked up.
Man, that sucks. Wow, I'm really sad about these guys dying.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you wanted to have a chance to do something about it.
Oh yeah, okay. Killian like kind of wants everyone there to kill each other, because that would solve most of his problems. So who is moving to go back there? Who are the ones?
Okay, Anton is not gonna go back. Anton is gonna stay with you. Anton orders, looking that like, I don't know, kind of in like a prideful way. Anton sends his two people back, and then these guys go back. So you generally see the leaders are going to stay with you because you have asserted this bigger idea that is something that is logical. So they're sending their underlings.
Oh, I will offer. I was going to offer because I think the Success guy is cool. I was going to offer to throw him. But you know what? No, that's you know what? We're gonna save that for later.
You do.
You know what? I saved that for the real homies. Even I just met this guy. Come on.
I don't know this guy.
So you're rushing back. You generally are seen with your perception that Platutu is probably going to take out the three other guys other than the dwarf before they even get there.
Nice.
And then it's going to be then those 5 people are going to overwhelm the Platutu probably, and then you don't know what's going to happen between the 5th and 11th house compatriots without their leaders there. You don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So that's
And
the
then-
perfect
so-
scenario for me.
But the only thing that you're slightly, I don't know if politically Killian cares that much about it, but it's something that I would like to share. Is the 6th house is kind of a neutral house, so they're being drawn into something sort of
Oh shit.
happenstance here. They've yet to bear their fangs until this point, and and you don't know. So there's that.
Sixth versus second.
So there you don't know. So there's not much left of the 2nd house, and the Platutus kind of fucked up his connection with Kane anyway. So
Yeah, no. I know. Okay, listen. Kanae's my homie. He literally would be dead if it wasn't for me. So he kind of owes me
Yes.
everything. But he's like, I wanna deal with this internally. Sorry, bud. He's gonna die. Everyone wants him to be a red stain. Tutu's gone, dude. It's not gonna happen.
This man had a chance to live. He chose death.
he
This
chose
is
to, you know.
an active nuisance to everyone. It's just
Well,
not
it's only because you rolled a really high perception. You know,
This man is
You
you
literally
beat his
been-
stealth. He rolled a 22 stealth, so it was like either way you would have beat it. But
I've learned the exact smell of frogs over the many days.
all right. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna just
happen.
I'm gonna make sure. I was just making sure the situation was like secure enough. That could end up being like rough, but I don't want to. I think me being with these two and keeping an eye on them is the most important thing right here.
Okay.
Are these guys going to reinforce? What are they
Some
doing?
of the wolves look like they're going to reinforce. Kind of, yeah. And then you see at this point, a couple of the god butchers are running in, which are one of the other neutral parties. And then a woman runs past you from one. You're not sure what house she is from exactly.
I'm just gonna say
but-
in Lupin then to just tell them to like keep the order and make sure I guess just keep the peace after the fighting is done.
There's an acknowledgement that they'll try their best, and
I nod. I nod like with just a look of like, yeah, no, these guys hate each other.
yeah. Yeah, you most specifically you're worried about what these 4 will do, but there's only so much you can do about that.
Listen,
by
if
this
I
point,
get back and they've been naughty, they're gonna get turned into paste. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
Killian's so done. Time for Bird. Bird is important.
All right, all right. Then we'll jump to the other
We need to kill
map.
Big Bird.
I'll
Does
just-
anyone have like a spare Challenger rocket?
Spare
no.
Challenger rocket. That's funny.
Yeah, I think I left one 6 feet deep, bro.
I think our rocket got left in a coffin.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you guys, let's zero into Setch and then Amu, Birdman, and Killian. You guys can kind of jump in where it makes sense. But before we do that, I would like let's see how Fawin and Tenebrous make their way, or do they make their way to the bird?
Well,
Meanwhile, in the halls of evil.
Yeah, meanwhile, at the League of Evil.
I guess my question was, for all the scrying with these devices, was I consuming spell slots to scry when we saw the bird over here, and or was that just part of the tower's integrated system with its different surveillance orbs?
Okay, it's part of the tower.
Okay. And Farwin was scrying on Squeer because he knows he can get to Squeer, but I guess he'll find out that he can't scry on Square after like.
Your call has been interrupted.
The static, bro.
I know
Square,
nothing. I just came back from murder.
Square did fuck up some frogs though, so
Like when a channel goes out.
But definitely, I need to long rest. I spent a bunch of spells because, like,
Pretty much
one,
same.
Farwin knows that there was an army marching by the surveillance, so him by himself, he sees minimal that he can influence versus someone who has a visible army presence. And even if he did go there, he wouldn't have really a proper delegation because Orcifor's away, and not that he really knows what even is happening with Orcifor. He's waiting for Orcifor to return so he can move on to a next step with Tenebris. But yeah, long rest I think is what Farwin would do. But the good thing is only 4 hours at least.
okay. So cool. Okay, what is Tenebris doing?
I'm pretty much on board with the long rest stuff. When I asked Farwin, so there seem to have been a few developments in the city. Do we stick with the original plan, or should we do something?
I cannot sense Square. This is most unusual. And I'm unable to track Orcifor. His magics help him out with that. All I can do is wait for him to return. We'll prepare to ensure that we can meet him in an area of our choosing, an area we can control. We must recuperate our strength, but I will go down to the lower dungeons to acquire some bondage.
Sounds good to me.
Make sure you actually come with me. I want you to survey the dungeon levels to know where you are to best hide yourself, where to make use of cover. So that's way when Orcfor returns, we can make the most use of our environment.
That's the wrong question. Do we disguise ourselves again? Or do we want it to know it's us?
I suppose we will survey the scenario to see what would be best. If we can disguise ourselves and make it seamless, preferably. But if in the end we're going to take his life, does it really matter?
I think one good idea would be Fifth House Assassin. You know, like those super intelligent undead. Should be easy to spell.
And how do we pull that off if we lure him into the dungeon?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Hmm.
It would be ideal if he were to be resting and we assassinate him in his bedchambers. Then that could be possible. But then
Yeah, but I highly doubt he's just going to sleep like a normal person. He is probably has alarms and wards in place everywhere. I doubt it's going to work.
so luring him into the dungeon it is, it seems.
Into dungeon it is. We merely need the proper spells for the situation.
Indeed.
Let alone, who knows what his pajamas will do.
Pajamas of firebolt.
How about this? I will, before I take that long rest, I will do one last sending to Orcifor, and to kind of entice him to kind of be lured to this trap. I will say something like, we made a breakthrough in our little project with Alucard. When you are done with your business, but take your time, please meet us back in the dungeon. Something like that.
Okay. Your timing is ill-founded, elf. I may need your assistance near this new threat to the city. all you get.
That's all I get, and that's all he gets. Still got a long rest. I'm not much useful spell drain the spells, unfortunately.
Alrighty. Then
I guess I'll tell him that at least. Another sending. Much of my energies were exhausted continuing your various tasks. I would not be much use of you, drained of my magics.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom save to see if Orc says what he wants to say. You do not get a response. Um,
Long rest it is.
Useless fucking elves.
Long rest.
These lazy fucking elves. Oh,
Hey, it's not
these
like I found where Mel's
motherfuckers.
hideout was for him, that I find out how to do the soul cage for him, and all these other things.
When it
Okay.
comes down to the city, you guys do all your scheming, and that's how, that's worth it.
I can feel
Uh-huh.
just touching my ass off for every trinkets he wants.
Oh, I'm not using my spell slots on conniving. Oh, God. Disgusting.
I invite you to my teleporting tower, and this is how you treat me? This is how you show respect?
Meanwhile, at the League of Evil.
all right. Well, then let's jump to Amu and Birdman. As they and Setch, as you guys are in and around this giant throng of people that is gathering around this young, as Setch can tell, being the closest to her, she is a gnome, you think? Too small to be a dwarf. And you've seen halflings before when you've hung out with Eros, and one of Eros's patrons was a halfling, and I don't know, she looks different, so I don't know, maybe she's like what Orgafor would look like if he wasn't ugly.
If he wasn't wrinkly.
Damn.
Kind of thing.
If
You
he's
know,
Maybelline.
like much younger, and to be sure,
Moisturize his skin.
Moisturizer, you know.
and she is nearing the end. You can just tell by, you've seen many a bard in your time. You're pretty sure that's what she is in essence. She's nearing the end of this like main opening performance, to get ready to like introduce herself and everything. It's quite obvious. And Setch, with your passive perception as you would get into the crowd of people disguised, I think you would eventually see Mel and her people. And then that would be like the most immediate like recognition of anyone else, kind of other than just the commoners and people of the streets. What does Setch want to do? And then Amu and Birdman we'll go to you guys next.
I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna watch from where I am, just as a little boy.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
mean-
an inconspicuous little red orc boy.
Oh, that's strange.
In the street with everybody else.
Ha! Get fucked. Ah, fuck.
Then the performance goes on, and I don't remember off the top of my head if Setch speaks Dwarvish, but that's what she is singing in. And towards the end of the song, there's this obvious gathering and reference back to her eagle, and she's obviously trying to tell a story about it. And those that speak Dwarvish, it's something about how this was gifted to her by the great seven faiths, and she has realized the truth because of it, and now she's trying to spread that truth, more or less. And while that's happening, like, underneath the wings on either side as this giant eagle is kind of perched on the ground. Dwarves of and not just dwarves and like the small squamata people, a couple of them, a couple cat folk, a few other as well, just humanoids, humans looking elves and things like that, maybe even like wood elves and things, which are kind of strange too. Some avis and as well, kind of in these burlap flax, like very simple monk kind of robe attire things, come with baskets, and they start taking handfuls of copper and silver and start handing it out. And then there's another group of predominantly dwarves, but there's an admixture of a few others that come with these. It's a rare thing to see in this world because they're very expensive to make. That's what stands out to you. But like the equivalent of like crates of glass bottles of like bottled water, and they start handing those out to the crowd and stuff, and like start saying blessings in common and dwarven to the effect of like safety on your travels, or we're glad that you were able to join us this day, kind of thing. Very simple things. And the people are a little just shocked, but there's also this like desperation that sits in because like clean water is a really expensive thing. And so there's like a line of people that, they can have clean water for their travel. They can go back home with clean water tonight, which would be something they'd have to save up 3 more days for. Now they have coins to also buy other water. Oh my gosh, like this is stuff that's like hugely influential to them. And Birdman and Amu, since Mel isn't here, I'm going to say Mel just kind of lets her people like take the side to just kind of watch kind of thing. And you guys are moving through the throng of people, see that kind of happen, and then probably can see, unless Killian wants to say otherwise, but Orcafor and Anton wouldn't be hiding themselves as they hover and fly down the road to eventually get met by the giant group of people that's going to slow them down significantly as they get to this point. And you guys are seeing the tail end of that as you get to this street, Almu and Birdman, of the water and the gold and stuff being handed out, and her kind of climbing back up to where the shoulders almost are of the wings as this thing is perched on the ground, and the thing doesn't move or react to her. But it feels like it does. Like it's very awkward, the sense of magic that does come from this thing. And the people are just kind of wrapping up, and then there's an obvious like sense of this woman, this young gnome is waiting for someone to come talk to her. That's like kind of thing. Like there's this, and there's like some of the dwarves have created this like semicircle to like section her off from like anyone that's not obviously a leader, quote unquote, like to come talk to her, like someone that has like influence of some capacity. And and if anyone asks, that's like what the dwarves tell, is like, well, she's waiting for someone. She's waiting for your leader. She's waiting for the council, like whatever they kind of know and understand.
To your leader,
kind of thing. And she seems to be the only one, quote unquote, armed. The rest of these monks and dwarves are dressed as citizens, or as these monks, and might have like simple tools or maybe a simple knife on their hip or something, for working or whatnot, but nothing that signifies that they're trying to be a threat. But then you look at this eagle that's just looking there, and this thing, I don't know, like there's very few things in this world, and this city hasn't seen many of these things. Like there's like a sense of this ancient being, like a dragon or something. Like there is a sense of power that comes from this thing that is everyone's in awe about. Like, and you can't quite place it. So I don't know. What do you guys do?
Does it look like a certain thing that I've seen in the past before?
Birdman would probably be in somewhat shock as one of the only people that kind of recognizes what this is.
Oh,
So,
shit.
like, thinking back to Cash, Like Cash looks cool, right? He's awesome. He's this like tortoise guy, right?
Yeah, he's so sick.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
There
bad.
is something about this eagle that makes Cash feel small.
Oh fuck.
You don't
And
say.
Cash is about the same size as this eagle. Like it's not really much bigger than Cash in size, but there's something about the presence of this eagle that makes Cash feel small. Like this is an eagle of a different. This is a different caliber of creature.
I don't know where Amu is on my body.
Well, that's Amu was on your shoulder, but as we got closer and closer to the crowd started getting bigger and bigger, he's like retreating into like the into your clothing, still on your shoulder, but he's like just more and more slowly, like all that's poking out is his head as he's looking on, but he's basically underneath your clothes.
This isn't good, little ferret dude. I'm gonna tell you what. This is not looking very
No.
good.
No, I don't know what that is, and
Well,
I don't think it's good either.
Where the
Well-
hell did this motherfucker come from?
what do you think we should do?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Passive perceptions would eventually pick up on the crowd, recognizing that the ninth house has come with an entourage.
Oh no. Here we go.
And they're making their way to the gnome.
Do we-
Do
We join the
I hope
circle.
so.
Yeah,
It looks
sure.
like
No.
it looks like the head of the ninth house, Xantha, and Orcafor starts to see this, and Orcafor literally casts another fly spell, looks at you two, like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "Okay, we're flying over the crowd to go over there," kind of thing. Killian
Do I see
included.
Birdman?
As you fly over, I would say with your passive perception, you would eventually, yeah, as you like that situation where you're literally like flying over Birdman, and you guys like go eye to eye for that brief moment.
I look at him and I just like make the motion like I can grab you. Can I grab you? Dude.
I mean, I'll walk.
You're
I
in
just, like-
control of the fly spell, so you can stop and grab him. Yeah, that's not like you just cast fly on you. so
It's just, if I don't see like an explicit like don't do that, I'm immediately just grabbing you.
No.
Hey, what's up, man?
Why are we in the air now?
It's okay. Don't worry about
Why-
it. Sometimes
You
these
hear
things
an
happen,
extra
I got your
voice.
little- I
Is
got
There,
your
is
little
there
ferret, dude.
there's someone else who's in there?
Oh yeah, this is Amu. Amu, this is Killian. Dog detective.
Hello.
That is a very
Oh.
strange title to have.
What's
Well,
your
actu-
name?
Well, actually, he's the pup of the first house, but we don't like to call him that. We like to
Don't
call
call
him
me
dog
the
detective.
pup. What?
Yeah, I think it's like pup or something. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
makes sense. Yeah.
He's very large, and
Thank
that's
you.
considerably from my standpoint.
It's okay. It's fine. He's
Very nice to
okay.
meet you. What's your name?
Mu, druid of the
Yes,
of
yes,
the
yes.
circle of
I'm
spores.
just writing that down, of course. Yes. Well, wonderful. You seem very nice. This is about to be incredibly stressful. So I need my friends.
As you say, stressful. He's retreating a little bit more down Birdman's shirt.
Do I have like do I like snacks in there? Like, I think there's like snacks in there.
You're Birdman. Of course you have snacks.
Yeah,
In there.
there's snacks in there though. The farther you retreat into
Yesterday
like,
you
cloak.
had some like fried Tarrasque meat, and there's like something
My
fancy in there.
I got
Um,
snacks in there, little dude. if
okay.
you're stressed.
He would smell it and then notice it's Tarrasque meat and then gag.
I love it. Maybe you would find like some noodles or something. I don't know.
Noodles. It's got
yeah,
like a
I'm-
couple
He
I'm-
finds a dried noodle. He finds a dried noodle and just munches on that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna update Birdman on what happened at the seal, and the sort of like whole political situation that's left going on there.
Ah,
The
see.
second house has basically been squashed, other than Kane.
that's good.
Is all that's left of the second house. The seal is probably going to be owned by the 11th or 5th house by the time you guys get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Cities
buddy, I have
politics.
approximately looks at timepiece. I have approximately 10 hours before I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
The city has seemed to turn its back on me, bro. I don't
What
know what
do-
to tell you, man.
Birdman, why? Stop being a poet for a second. What's happening?
You
getting
guys are
fired.
landing by this point in like
You're sad
Big-
because you got fired from
No,
your
I'm getting-
job?
No, I'm getting fired because and I'm pointing at the Binder Lords. They're all standing here. There's like 3 or 4 of them standing here. I'm like, no, I'm getting fired because he's a dick. He's a dick. He's definitely a dick, and she's also a dick. And I'm sorry, Amu. I really like you, but your
I'm gonna
brother's
make
a
my
dick.
hands. I'm gonna cut my hands together so they're like just like sealed inside, like a soundproof chamber.
He's nice when you really get close to him.
I set and then I set Birdman down next to me. I just like sort of I'm gonna come out of my big guy form or whatever, and just sort of shrink back
He
down
gets
to
smaller.
still being big.
Yeah.
As you
I'm
guys
actually
land,
inside most of the time.
Orcafor and Anton are beelining to make sure that Xantha is not the only first one to arrive as a leader of the city to
Oh no,
kind
you're
of
not gonna fuck
parlay.
this up.
And
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do my Sigma stride. I'm just gonna
you
walk
s-
like
you see Xantha comes with an entourage of his 3 daughters. The triumvirate of Karens.
Oh shit!
Yes.
We have
Council of Karens.
Karen with a Y, Karen with an I, and Karen with an E.
Shit.
Okay, they follow
All the
him.
same mom.
They all look like actual sisters, so yes.
Shit. Fucking
As
Somebody
best
call
as
a
you can
watch
tell.
manager.
But you guys would know, especially Birdman is the most in tune to the city of especially Birdman of the 3 PCs as part of that conversation. The 9th house is like pure bloodline kind of thing. So,
We keep it in the family here.
Yeah, Xantha, his parents were probably brother and sister. So.
Oh god.
Oh
No.
god.
Kind of thing. So, so his wife might be like his weird cousin or sister or something.
Oh no.
So his daughters are like his daughter nieces. So
Today's episode sponsored by Alabama.
No.
Blood is thicker than water.
Gross.
The 3 Binder Lords introduce themselves
Habsburg family line.
to this half circle of like sort of guard dwarves. The dwarves announce
That'd be funny.
the names of Orcafor, Lord of the 11th, Anton, Lord of the 5th, Xantha, Lord of the 9th, and allows them to pass. And she kind of looks down as she's still the young gnome looks down sort of ambivalently as these 3 approaching, and then looks beyond as like there's this giant sort of wolf man thing, and then coming up like this everyone's like also paying attention to too. And Set, you're seeing all this develop off on the side. These people, all these guys, them land, and we could probably, with your passive perception, pick up on a little bit of Birdman's frustrations and things going on. Maybe not all the words, but the intents and things like that. And the idea that there's like a little weasel with him now, basically, like, which is a new development for Birdman, but not necessarily out of character for Birdman.
I'm curious, do you have any like religious like signets or iconography on her or the bird or anything?
The bird, no. There is this sort of symbol, I guess. Like she looks like she's wearing like a uniform of sorts. Like imagine like a medieval chain suit that's been made into like a flight suit sort of thing. And on the chest, high up near her collarbone, is a circle of 7 dots that are like crystals, like they shimmer, like they've been made to look like crystals. And the 7 dots, you don't know what that is. But that's the only iconography she has on her.
I see. Do I recognize that symbol?
You can roll a history check.
Uh,
Rewind many months ago out of game, not too long ago in game, when Setch was leaving with Eros and you turned around and started firing fireballs at some dwarves. Right?
That was so long ago out of game.
War crimes.
Holy shit.
War
I think
crimes
I
were
remember
had.
bombing someone
It's
like
all
you.
Okay,
war crime
one
flashback.
of the dwarves you captured and therefore brought back to town, he had not a symbol on his chest, but on his shield that was very similar to this. It wasn't as ostentatious as hers. So you're thinking that's the symbol of the army that they're part of, at the least, this dwarven army. The your old mind, your old thoughts, your memories from pre that time, know that the dwarven empire from 1,000 years ago believed in harnessing the power of the seven primordials, and that's that's what they strove to do. Of like their whole conquest was about that, is to conquer that. You don't know exactly what that means, but you do. Your gut is leaning towards the Tarask being part of that idea. One of those seven, maybe.
Right. Interesting.
Can I do an insight check to see how much of a powder keg this situation is?
Okay. Yeah.
Woo! 14.
With a 14, you are generally getting the impression that this gnome, nor the dwarves and other Animaesus people that joined her with the money and water, they will not instigate anything unless it's like heinous, unless like you guys just start murdering them out of nowhere, all of them. Then she will probably jump in her eagle and start fucking people up. She is not gonna just carry, just start whatever. If it's gonna come from anyone, it will come from your guys' side. Is what your gut tells you. It will come from the city, and you're leaning towards Xantha or one of the three Binder Lords might
So what you're
be
saying
like,
is
"Oh,
we're
I'm
going to
because a lot has happened today. And looking at Orcafor and looking at Anton, they look stressed as fuck, as best as you can tell. And Xantha looks like his typical power hungry self. Like he looks like he's in charge of the situation, which that's pride and hubris may get the better of him.
So Amu would then poke his head out a little bit, saying, "We we should be more careful of the city folk than those dwarves. I do not think they will begin a fight unless they deem it necessary. If we are the aggressors, we could probably keep it peaceful if we can keep those three calm."
All right. Is Killian standing? Did they let him through the little semicircle? That
If you guys walk up to it and
Oh, they don't
introduce
have a
your-
choice. No,
yeah,
no.
like if you guys walk up to it and like whether it's Anton and Orcafor, or you guys kind of introducing yourselves as representatives and trying to, they don't know that you aren't. I think the only one that would say anything would be Anton or Orcafor, and at this point,
I
Anton
dare them to say something.
Orcafor would
about
probably
him.
rather have Birdman and Killian here, and they don't. I don't know if they care enough about Amu at this point, because to put it in the simplest terms, Amu is just a weasel to them. So
But literally, they shouldn't even know who he is.
exactly, like you're just a random weasel that like, and Birdman is a ranger. He has a new weasel friend he summoned. Like that's as far as their brains are gonna go.
You literally just could be someone he found like in an alleyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And they
yeah.
know, Anton and Orcafor know of your connections to Pio, so they wouldn't be surprised that they would put two and two together that this is someone maybe as Pio's eyes, but they don't see that as a bad thing. Pio is like the glue that helps keep a lot of their things moving at this point. Like that's what you like. They're moving against without including Pio, so eventually that's going to bite them in the ass. But like Pio gets them so much that they can't get with magic components and various other things.
It's either Pio or he just picked up some random dirty ass ferret in the
Exactly,
middle
and
of the alleyway.
would probably
It's
just go,
honestly a
okay.
coin flip.
It's a coin,
Yeah.
it's a coin flip. Both make sense.
Okay. The dwarven circle would kind of part, and you guys would kind of come in, and they would make it a little bigger to include everyone. And the young gnomish woman with like the blondie piggy tail things looks down all excitedly at there's a group of interesting folk. Obviously, she kind of climbs/slides down the wing to get to you all, and has a little kind of sprocket thing on her hip that she takes off, just kind of like a fidgeting happenstance, and starts to play with it a little bit. And shorter than all of you, other than the other two gnomes, and even shorter than them, she stares kind of wide-eyed with wonder, and she then takes the sprocket to her mouth, like a microphone sort of thing, almost. And the bird behind you, its mouth opens, and she starts to speak, and it like echoes through the bird's mouth like a speaker. And she says, "Before deliberations begin, which..." And she just kind of shrugs. "We have chosen our next project, a prospect. You are the first of 7, if you know. We have seen evidence, heard rumors of another primordial child that has risen. It is beautiful. Is this not true? Is this not true?"
Primordial child? What is she on about, Birdman?
Somebody answer her question.
Anton
and
looks
in a very-
confused. Orcafor kind of looks confused.
There's
Xantha,
only one thing that
Xantha's-
is awoken.
yeah,
Can
Xantha
we-
steps forward and is about to speak, unless one of you say something.
I'm gonna. Okay,
Can
if
we
Birdman's
roll-
gonna say something, I kind of look at him like maybe. Okay, if Birdman can talk.
I look. Is there any like insight check we can roll? Like something like, do we know what she's talking about? Like,
Birdman would probably.
I probably would, but
I mean, I
can
can put two and
roll-
two together.
You can insight, yeah.
Meta-wise, I know what she's talking about, but so
out of game. Yeah, we know what she's talking about, right? But
Birdman, he has the best chance.
must be talking about the Tarask, man. It just looks like
She is... The layman would think the Tarask, yes. By what she's talking about.
Killian is trying
yes.
to put things together.
Oh no, I know what she's talking
She's
about.
talking about Cash, is what Birdman's
All right.
thinking.
I look at Xantha.
They know about Cash in some way now.
I look at Xantha like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. I even look at
He
him
knows-
like,
he knows about Cash by this point. Xantha
I know.
does know about.
I step
He
at
doesn't
him
know
like,
you were involved because
you
Seeming
shut your
and you were all
mouth. You
drow.
shut your fucking mouth right now. I'll stab you in front of all your friends and this eagle. I'll do it.
Let's
I'm
hold off on the
unhinged.
blades for now.
So much threats of violence, the gnome says it with excitement.
I like how it looked like Xantha was backing up as everyone was getting closer. and
Welcome
Ansel
to the
stepping
city.
side. And the eagle.
But yes, we will all stay peaceful here if you all know what's good for you.
The
I
Peace-
just stare
peace
at
is
Xantha
good.
like you are an ant to me. I can throw you.
I can throw you at a wall.
all right.
Xantha realizes he's too close to this right now, and he's like, yeah, okay. Like the look on his face, he like kind of shrugs his arms. Birdman, if Killian was not here, he would have probably cast a spell at you. You're pretty sure. But then you don't know what that would have happened with this gnome lady. This gnome lady, you generally get the impression if any spells were cast in a threatening way, she would do something and react to that. And I don't know. Your feeling doesn't rest on a good outcome
Yes.
Let him cook. You know, I'm just trying to let my guy cook.
Yeah, you gotta let me cook.
Let me cook.
The gnome says, "Well, it looks like one elf seems to know."
An elf. This elf knows a particular lot of information.
I did not know elves have come this far north.
It's a long story. This primordial you speak of, the layman might, and I look at Xantho when I say layman. The layman might assume that you were talking about the wonderful source of everything in this city, but I know that you're not. So if you're looking for, and I like gesture at like the eagle thing, it's not here.
But its chamber is here.
Its chamber is here, yes.
Well,
And
then
if-
good, we have come to the right prospect.
And if I will say, if you are willing to peacefully and quietly ignore the good people of this city for the sake of seeing said chamber, I would be willing to take you there. In recent developments, there have been some things that
my
have
goodness.
been.
You
Yeah.
would take me to see. Oh my goodness,
I
this is
could.
more than I could dream. Yes, peace can most assuredly be had. I do think.
I would.
Do I,
I will-
believe that at all? I'm
I would
like just looking at her like I feel
Yeah,
like
can
she's
I-
trying to
can
like
I
pump up the
roll-
people with like
Yeah, I was like,
aid
can
and
I roll
shit and all that.
Inside check on that too. I mean, I know what she wants to see, but I want to know if I can trust her and believe her.
Oh, I know. Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Okay. This
No.
is perfect.
I
I
roll
also
low for others to roll
I'm gonna look
high.
over to Amu real quick and just be like, the chance.
No.
Can you check the supplies they're handing out to see if there's poison?
Sure, I can do that.
Or just just afterthought, but
No, it
Might
wouldn't
I-
be too much of a trouble.
Might I ask what it is you would like to see from this chamber? If you'd like to gain anything, we are
I wasn't
not your enemy.
expecting to see the chamber, so that is just an extra joy.
Well, perfect. I'd like to stress that we are not your enemies, and we would not like to fight you.
No, we are not enemies either.
It sounds like you
No,
are.
neither. No. We have come because the beast. It is time for it to become and turned anew. Ba'er demands it. It is time. The great seven faiths have hailed this prophecy for generations.
Oh shit. Okay, she lost me.
Right?
Let's-
We will follow this ancient will. That is why we are here. That is indeed. So surely, this cult, and she gestures to the people that are dressed as monks, and the way she gestures, you finally understand they're not really with her, but are sort of with her. She thinks them to be nothing. But yes, they have warned you for generations of this. It is now time.
Time for what?
The beast must be turned anew.
What by turn anew, what is it that you
I
mean?
think she means dead, dude.
You do not know this prophecy.
No, but if you'd like to speak it, I do need some time to deliberate with my
Lore.
partner.
I was not told that I would be telling this story. This is
Well,
not
you
what I
s-
was told.
Well, you seem to be a bard of some considerable skill.
Indeed, I can. And she looks at you. Bard. I am not a bard. I am a star.
Oh, okay. My bad. Apologies. It's a cultural disconnect. My bad. Yeah.
Yes, I am. There are more.
Do you orate? Do you?
Yes,
sing songs?
I am known to be the best, other than the one from the sea. Deepro is much better at I. better at it than I
You
am.
obviously haven't met
Oh,
her.
but yes, I will tell you this story. But she looks like back as if like she's gonna get in trouble for doing it though, kind of thing. Like she's looking around and like realizes, oh yes, I like, and the gesture to herself is like, yes, I am the only one here, and I am in charge. Like you definitely get that vibe in these few moments as she's looking around trying to like understand that she's actually gonna tell a fucking story.
Yeah, she's gonna do what she see, dude, we're garnering the peace, something that I don't think these 3 specific binder lords would be able to do. That's my personal opinion.
Anton is just watching with sort of anger. Most of his focus is at Orcafor. Orcafor is just like has this wide brimmed smile at just something. You're not exactly sure what he's smiling about, but he's like overly happy. And Xantha looks like he wants to kill Birdman and Killian, but knows that's a bad idea right now.
Yeah, real bad, dude.
Like,
While that's going on, just real quick, since the gnome is basically using a loudspeaker, I'm assuming her voice carries out for quite a few hundred feet or so, like quite a distance.
yes,
So-
with the eagle thing, yeah, she wants to on purpose let the crowd hear everything she is saying.
Okay, then since Amu can still hear her, he's going to scurry down. He's gonna get out of Birdman's shirt and scurry down his back, and
shit,
is
dude.
going to go past the dwarves, go up to some person in the crowd who has some of the food that's been handed out, and is going to hold out his hand, saying, "Please let me check that for potential poisons, just in case."
A little bit of shock, but they do. They hand it over.
Okay, and I will do a nature check on it.
Make sure there's
Or-
not like fucking like I don't know,
Nature,
like
or
Morph
if you
Rogue
have the spell
mini-bots in
detect
there.
poison, yeah, prepared.
Nano machines.
I
Nano
don't
machines.
have
They're gonna
detect
reprogram.
poison.
Just give it the sniff
It
test.
is a first level druid spell. So,
I mean,
for a few.
yeah, I didn't see it. I don't think I saw it, but in any case, wow, no, fuck that. I'm tired of these low ass rolls. What the
Fine,
fuck?
nothing. Fine.
Okay,
Well, 13.
fine,
We'll
13.
never
I'll take
know.
As best as Amu can tell, who's been around a lot of rot, especially in his lifetime being a druid and then choosing the circle of spores at such a young age, you understand the poison the Tarask has created unnaturally about these places, and this food is pristine. It smells good. It's simple rice balls and simple kind of cooked breads and hardtack kind of things that have obviously traveled for a bit, but are still very fresh and edible as best you can tell.
Okay. He will hand the food back, saying, "It will probably be the best thing you've had in your life." And then we'll quickly scurry back to get back to Birdman and get back into his shirt on his shoulder.
I love it. Okay. Um. My brain farted.
It's gonna tell us a prophecy, man.
Lore.
Okay, the prophecy.
I love
of
war.
The prophecy of the
prophecy
beast, I
of the
imagine.
beast. Okay. Things I wasn't exactly expecting, but not surprised.
How can you not expect lore, Seth?
Come on.
I know. I just
We
wasn't.
love lore.
I didn't write this part down, so yeah.
You made a prophecy and didn't write it down?
I made a prophecy, didn't write it out, I should say, in the aspect of like, whatever. But it's okay.
Give us a
She-
Cliff Notes version of the prophecy if you want.
She
How does the DM
like
not know the prophecy? It's his prophecy.
he does know that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't.
Give us the Cliff Notes.
She goes to
Give us the
the
Wikipedia
bird,
article on the prophecy.
and she like puts her hand on the belly of the bird. She's really short too, so it's like almost its butt in some ways. And like the bird's wings like open up and create this like shadow effect. And then she starts using minor illusion. It's very obvious in different ways. And even begins a casting of it's basically like you guys can just like it. She begins a hallucinatory terrain.
Oh, she's
casting.
doing like an R2D2 style, like
Damn, we
Let me
get
guess,
a
your
whole like
home?
hollow suite.
And she sets a scene of the lands joined together. And you can like a Pangea kind of thing. It's you kind of see the world and the lands being pushed back together with her different things that she's doing with the illusion spells, and then she. This is the time before many. A time when the world was one. Before the wars of the ancients spread it. And she starts to break apart, and it eventually breaks into the 7 kind of continents that we know.
I'm looking at Orcafor, like, if anything of this sounds bullshit, I feel like he's the guy that could be like, yo. He's a nerd. He's a huge old nerd.
He's a nerd, yes. He's
He's
just,
been
he's
around for a
watching.
bit.
He's just watching. He has a very just his smile's just continuing to be there. Like he just and then she while it's breaking up, it's part of the minor illusion, but I think you can also maybe see she's maybe making some noises herself along the way to kind of add to it. Of while the world shifts and changes out of the different continents, there's imagery of the Tarask, as best as you guys can tell, and you guys know that quite explicitly more than anyone else. But more than one, like one for each continent. There's like 7 eventually you see, and they kind of spread around, and they seem to be at odds with this other entity. They don't quite hint. She doesn't even know what that is. And there's this like darkness that kind of starts to envelop the earth kind of thing. And out of the darkness comes these 7 lights that start to fight back, and they are able to eventually imprison the Tarasks, and eventually zooms into one of these lights, and you see her bird as one of these lights. And her bird is surrounded by a group of these other creatures, these other 6 of them. You don't see Cash. Time moves on, and you get to where things are broken apart, the Tarasks are put to rest. And then she brings to this idea about how the 7 lights are used by her people to kind of establish their world, their civilization. And it's kind of zeroing into the equivalent of like South America. And what inevitably happens over some generations is the different Tarasks awaken and at different points and are taken care of by various means, mostly divine, and either taken to another plane, never really killed. And then you get to the last one, which is the one you guys have in your city. And there's something of the way the imagery she's showing it mostly turns to like a visual effect thing by this point. Is the imagery you're seeing is there's more of these primordials that they find, more like Cash and this eagle from around every time they engage and defend with a Tarask. And these things have some connection to the ancients that they don't even understand. Like they believe that's why they're left here. They're kind of found here and there. Like even the way she understands, these were found throughout the years, and her people now have gathered all 7 from their home, their continent, and they know that the other 7 here have awoken because the beast has awoken in the last 300 years. So they are coming here to lead the lights to the end of the beast, which is what should happen. And then what she's obviously not including is what the city has done to the Tarask. And she is not interpreting that, and she's not adding that to any of the history. There is an obvious implication that they know the Tarask has been awake for 300 years, and they know what you guys have been doing to the Tarask, but that doesn't seem to be of a concern to what the prophecy says and all these other things. And the imagery kind of wraps up with, this entourage of like a caravan with the various primordials traveling with this army of dwarves north in this like positive, like religious musical theme, almost as they're marching north to bring the truth of the 7 lights to the people of the lost Animaesus, kind of thing. It's very much that vibe. And kind of wraps up the imagery and looks to, the spells start to dissipate for the most part. Hallucinatory terrain's going to be there for the next 24 hours, but that's okay.
Well, so first clarification question. So you're saying that she was saying that every one of the continents has 7 primordials on it that are
Yes.
meant to. Okay. And they have all 7 of
They-
theirs.
They found all 7 of theirs. Yes.
So essentially, we know of 1, and there are 6 others on this continent.
Yes.
Fuck.
Okay. Then
And they from Eros, they choose people, right? Kind of things. Like they're kind of chosen in an aspect. So
Mm.
The power of these things is not in everyone's control. You're
Right.
kind of getting by this implication that they're much more interested in Cash and his compatriots than the Tarask. The Tarask is kind of an afterthought now, and maybe that's why they didn't include it, because the Tarask is asleep. Like, the city found a way to do this to a creature that wasn't, impossible, supposedly, by the prophecy. So.
Right. And the second thing I want, as a move, to do a nature check about what he knows of just Tarasks and what she's currently bringing up. Like, not to say like the history of it, but like how nature would have been affected this whole time, and if that has ever come up in any of the studies that he's done over the years.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think
I'm
The way
going
I
to
can answer that.
strangle a child in front of a cop and then
Please.
strangle the cop. I swear to fuck. What the fuck are you?
Dude, I'm telling you. The best of us.
There are theories from certain archdruids of circles on this continent over the generations that have discussed how the Tarask and how it's slow death, as most druids call it, even though it's not really dead, how its slow death influences nature so much. Like they ponder about how can something do that if it's not a natural thing, like if it's not something that's part of nature itself in some capacity, but being such a strange monstrosity, there's so many people that are just like, how can that doesn't make any sense because it's so poisonous. Like so much of it is poisonous. But then there's the argument, especially from the Circle of Spores, that poison is a big part, rot is a big part, death is a huge part of the circle of life. And maybe the Tarrasque represents some of that in the larger capacity, something that can, in the same capacity that a lion is designed to hunt an antelope. The Tarrasque is designed to do something if it is nature. Like, it's just trying to figure out what that is. And that's what you don't know yet. It's like, what is its... If it is that, what is its purpose? What is its form? Because it doesn't seem to have the ability to reproduce in any way, which is the first marker that it's not natural. But then there's these rumors that people have been able to clone it and reproduce it, which hint towards its capability. Even though that goes against nature, that does hint towards a possibility of it, kind of thing. So I think those kind of ideas roll through Ammo's mind as he listens to the story.
Yeah, I think even. Yeah, I was definitely thinking even Amu would be of the opinion, even the most beautiful flowers can have the most deadly of toxins within them.
One of my favorite monologues from Romeo and Juliet is Friar Lawrence in the beginning of Act 2, as he's gardening, talking about this flower that is the same flower he eventually uses to fake Juliet's death, about its, beautiful but deadly qualities and how that is such a huge representation of nature. Okay. Well, he looks satisfied with her telling of the story, to be
I'm
fair.
in a lot of trouble, is what it sounds like. But this is going
You've
to clear a
altered the
lot of
city's destiny.
But this is going to clear up a lot of shit for our trial coming up, so that'll be cool.
We still have that trial?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, if I'm going to lose my job, this is how I'm going to do it.
With that information, the young gnome lady looks like she's getting ready to leave. Like, she didn't receive the applause she wanted or whatnot, so she looks a little confused. So she starts to, get about her way, and eventually will say,
Killian does clap. I will say that. He claps a little bit.
Okay, then she will bow multiple times.
And
just
we
for
all
Killian.
look at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
This was a good show.
She says, thank you, Lord. And she doesn't know what to call you.
My name is Killian Canius, and I'm not a lord.
Well, thank you, Killian.
Thank you.
I will return in future days. As a harbinger, I am today. But I am part of an army. I am a warrior. But they have come to ask me to be a voice and a song to you people, and I'm so glad I could do that indeed and not just be it in symbol. So, I wish for the new, and I hope all of you wish for the new as well.
Wait.
Wait.
You.
And she's like in the process of climbing back up into the eagle.
You plan on getting rid of the Tarrasque? If I am correct in my thinking.
The Tarrasque cannot be felled by my hands alone, no. But it is a plan for the future.
But
yes.
I already told you that what you're looking for isn't here. You don't need to come here.
Well, exactly. But we can... if it is not here, it is somewhere else, and we will find it in this else place as we look for the other 6.
Does that mean you're gonna come back here and destroy our city?
I am hoping the citizens will understand that we are trying to help them.
But you don't understand. This city is... It's not here. You can't break this city.
No, but we can bring resources to reinforce this city and sway the hearts and minds to our cause of the Seven Faiths.
I like her moxie.
And she's like in the process of like almost closing the hatch, like kind of thing as she's talking
Have
to you.
fun,
Like,
guys.
Before Birdman even says more, I'm just gonna like put his little paw on your cheek and say,
I would love to see the Tarrasque go, but even I am aware that its benefits are what allows this city to be what it is. It might be short-sighted of our visitors, but perhaps we could see where it goes. There might be a peaceful solution here.
she gets in the eagle by this point. It's like closing the hatch, moving, starting to move mechanically and whatnot. Its wings fluttering. And then out of the ominous voice somewhere, her voice comes out of the mouth, maybe. It's hard to tell. It kind of echoes, and in Dwarvish, she says an order to a couple of the dwarves that are nearby, and they kind of nod, and they go to where the legs of the eagle are now that it's stood up, and they like unhook some crates. And she explains as they do, "We have brought enough water for 1,000 people for today. We can bring more tomorrow. We have it bottled at a source in the mountains to the south. We can bring this every day as a promise to your people that we will bring peace."
Yes.
And Orcafor and Anton are just waiting for her to leave. Xantha, he's just like in awe at this whole situation by this point. Just like he doesn't want to cause anything. Like none of them want to cause anything by this point. It's obvious that they've all got the impression that someone's gonna die if right now, and having that right now with the fighting that's still kind of having in the center, with the tensions that rise, maybe not be a good thing. But
Killian's just gonna like, if everyone's just like stunned right now, Killian's just gonna be like, we certainly would not turn down such generous resources. I believe we will convene our separate governments and make sure that we are ready for whatever arrival is going to be coming to us.
I cannot guarantee what day I will be asked to return. This is not my decision. So I do hope that you are prepared for when we do arrive. This city
Of course.
seems lost. We hoped to give it a focus. And the wings start to flap basically, and she's starting to take off. And head south by southwest, more or less.
Yeah. As soon as like she's out of earshot, Killian just goes,
Feeling goes what?
Fuck.
Oh.
I think
And
Birdman is like,
Anton's like, yeah, fucking Jesus, fucking teed.
I think
That's the
Birdman's like,
weirdest gnome I've ever met.
Birdman's like on his knees, like
really?
crying.
Yeah, really.
Birdman?
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 I hope
So
you
is this
all
like
know
your
what
eye,
you've
you're
done
covering your
now.
hands with your face, or are you like
Yeah.
rocking back and forth, crying?
Yeah.
Xantha just storms off, meets his daughters on the outskirts, and then they obviously go about their business. Orcafor and Anton look with some concern toward Birdman as well.
Birdman? Why are you crying?
I hope you all know what you've done now. We couldn't just be happy, could we? We couldn't just be friends anymore. We all had to go around and start killing each other. And now here we are. Now we're gonna lose everything that we've ever gained and everything that we've ever worked for here in this fucking hole. I was starting to like this city. I came back. But now it just seems like everybody doesn't want me here. What's the point?
I wouldn't like to be included in that everybody.
Everybody
You know.
is included in everybody. That's the point of everybody.
Your despair is understandable, but I have been doing every fucking thing every single day to make sure that these people don't kill each other.
But what about them? What are they doing? They're actively killing each other right now.
Yes, exactly. And we are cleaning up their mess.
We? Who is we?
Oh,
I thought
I'm
it was
not.
us.
I'm here. I'm trying to find out what's going on in this city, and nobody wants to work with me.
I would like to work with you.
I also have been currently working with you.
You
And
pushed me
so
away,
am-
Birdman.
Or while you're talking with this,
Join
is
the dark
saying
side.
before this gets away from me, says to Anton, "Do with them as you please. If it pleases you to let them live, then so be it. I must make my way back home."
Orcafor says that?
To Anton, yeah.
I look over at Orcafor instantly and just pleases to let us live?
I'm not talking about you, Wolf. I'm talking about those that might have been allies to me this morning that now attack my cousin's seal.
I see.
And even through all of this chaos, we continue to fight each other?
Well,
Even now,
it
you
is
would
not
walk
my
away.
purpose.
It is not your purpose.
No.
The city is your purpose. You're
Indeed.
the lord of the 11th house.
Indeed, and that is why I must return to my tower. Birdman, I wish that you can get some rest tonight, and he flies away.
Gillian just rubs his temples.
Enough to survive, but never enough to
Uh,
live.
Can we insight that? Well, I'm not there. I don't like those words. Apprentice, what did you do? You were sloppy? Were you sloppy?
You were
Birdman,
saved.
To be clear, it has nothing to do with you two.
Ah,
Nothing
okay.
to do with you two.
I
Like, at
I
all.
thought you had known these things.
dog is going crazy. Oh,
I don't
shit.
know anything anymore.
This is how the city is. It's how it's been for a long time.
He's not wrong. It's been for decades, probably centuries.
I ask a request of you three.
Is this Anton?
You
Yes.
better make it good.
Are you requesting I don't kill you where you stand? I accept the first one. Yes.
I would like to be alive at the end of today.
Oh, wonderful. We've already agreed with that one then.
There is a future that is tenuous at best. And I would like to ensure this city, Birdman, is something that still stands. And one more thing, Birdman. Your words at the moot were one of the only reasons why I think more lives were not shed that day. So, when you're done being concerned of how the city treats you, do know the fifth house has an open door for you when you're ready for it. And if you would please, Birdman, Killian, and Ferret person, I would appreciate your help in ensuring the chaos of the center does not continue past afternoon tea.
Yes.
Killian.
You may have my yes, Birdman?
Could you
What?
please have the first house distribute this water to the people? They would really appreciate it.
I was going to get to. How much do we have resource wise here? It's 1,000 people.
1,000 people. Yeah, it's like
Uh,
yeah.
So like not a lot.
Like 1,000 bottles of water, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for one to be in one place in the city for free, basically.
I will make sure that is taken care of. I thank you for reminding me.
And you're in the third most rundown part of the city right now.
We must
The
remind
spillway is by
ourselves.
far the worst. Then secondly is the tailstones, just because of where it's located, and then the throat is after that.
Thank you for reminding me what we are supposed to be fighting for here. Of course, Anton. I would like there to be cooperation and a united front. I can have no more of your house trying to worm its way into the first. We will have no more. Your
I made
If
some
you would like
choices.
something, you can speak to me, and we'll figure it out. But I would like it if you did not do that anymore.
I think, based upon the most recent reports from the first house, I think you're quite capable of handling those next steps. But to be sure, before your arrival, I was not sure if Highbjorn's choice was in the best interest for the city. You have ensured that, Killian, and for that, I am proud of you.
I
You
think
may
that
have
the
been
thing
right,
you should be the most
but still.
worried about being capable is walking away from here.
I am not worried of the threats to me physically. I have lived more than a few centuries. The work I have done for the city is precious to me, believe it or not, and the choices I have made have always been in the best interests of the city, but I work with a city of people that do not care for those best interests. So, the conniving, the cajoling, has always made this quite difficult. I apologize for nothing by this point, because it is not worth it. What is worth it is that we still stand tomorrow.
Whatever has been is too much to deal with now. We can only focus on what we can do at the moment. So, we need to be open and work together here. Clearly, there are many threats to us. I think everyone here is willing to work together, except for perhaps some. But we will deal with it. I will always prefer peace over more chaos in the city. And if there is a pressing issue now, I will be able to help you. But first, I'm gonna howl. I'm gonna get a howl. I'm gonna get my wolves here. I'm calling the boys.
Okay.
It's just gonna be like a what's like a not like it's like you're calling the non-date like non-emergency line. It's like a non-emergency line howl.
It's a
Like
different
I'm not
inflection.
like I don't need you to come over here because I'm dying. I need you to come over here because like I need help with something.
Okay.
Besides the groceries.
Maybe it's all the same howl. They just fly with the seat of their pants when they get
Oh,
there.
it's all
They're
this.
like,
It's
"Oh,
all the
shit."
same howl, huh? Oh yeah.
It's all
It's
Yeah,
all the
Birdman.
same.
That's what Birdman thinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the same howl.
His
Yeah.
ears aren't just attuned the way yours is.
Oh, we all just sound the same.
as you howl, the camera kind of breaks away, and we come back to the red-skinned orc that's been watching all of this. Does
Oh,
Setch
boy.
want to do anything
Oh,
here? You've been very
I
quiet.
dare you.
Yeah, fuck some shit up.
I
dude.
mean, what much could he do?
Oh yeah,
my
you do a
God.
lot. You can kill
I
Anton.
mean,
That'd be
we know,
really cool.
again, we know his mission.
Don't ask that after all he's already done, please.
Everybody is gathered together, right? Almost every person is pretty.
Fireball.
War crimes!
The on like you have Anton, Killian, Amu, and Birdman gathered together by this point. Yes.
Oh, word. There's a Binder Lord there.
Is there like a group of people as well, just random citizens too?
Yeah, quite a few.
Alright, cool.
Obviously.
Really want to up the body count.
As I'll leave with like the group of citizens, and as I'm leaving, I'm gonna cast subtle cast phantasmal force on Anton.
Oh shit.
Int.
I may open his sheet.
All
Trust
those
will
were
cast
two
it.
binder lords die today.
I hate this. I hate
Sadly, I
this
used
so much.
all of my death spells, but I just want to leave him with something.
All right, Phantasmal Force. What do I do? Intelligence save. Back.
Yeah, he's
Oh
fine.
god.
No, Jesus Christ. Wait, is it intelligence or is it wisdom?
It's-
It says it save.
yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. And I'm just gonna walk off with the crowd.
Anton looks behind for the briefest moment. Has a headache for a second, not sure why.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been
I
the
just want
wind.
his nose to start just bleeding a little bit.
Okay. Well, where does Setch make his way then after the crowd of people starts to disperse?
I want to try and find someone that follows the same god that I do, if I know who that is in the city.
Oh.
With my memories, would I know that someone had come to the city following my god?
Oh. Roll a religion check.
Religion. My sheet just closed for some reason.
Looking for friends because you've
Do I get advantage because it involves like the
them.
Tarask or no?
Yeah, sure.
Need more friends to help kill my old friend.
If that's not enough, I'll use a sorcery point. But if that is enough, I'll keep it as it is.
Oh. I think that's enough. For at least, yeah, that's enough for that idea. Religion is something rare in this city. There are a few temples to be sure. One of the best places to start would go to the shrine of Messinifex as one of the larger religions in the city that worships the way it's always preached themselves. You now wonder if it's not like a modern interpretation of like a more ancient idea that you know of.
My religion or just a religion I would know about?
A religion that would be around from the time when you were the drow kind of thing. That would be something where you could at least start to look for that. The only other place would be to go to the actual 7th House Tower, which is known to have quite an extensive library, or even well, you're kind of excommunicated now, but the 10th house, the Blackwell Tavern, has some good connections. The 11th house, to kind of get some of those ideas. So
Do you pronounce it as Jakku or Jack?
Jack.
Is he pretty well received within the within like religious circles in this city?
With your 16, you know that there might be one person that knows about him.
I'm also mean like if you worship him, you're not gonna get like
No,
bad
he's
knowledge.
not. He's not. There's no negative connotations. He's just kind of been forgotten about. Sort of.
Okay.
Like, especially in this city, you wonder if you go outside the city to some of the more Animaesus, actual true Animaesus lands, if he would still be there. But in the city, they've kind of forgotten about him.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the shrine.
Okay. Start moving your way over there. All right.
And I'm just gonna be a little orc boy, just searching for guidance.
Okay. I need to go get a drink of water, so let's take a couple minutes. Take a couple minute break here. And use the restroom, whatnot, if you need. Come back in like 4 or 5 minutes, and continue. We're by this point where we've moved this city, we can do one of two things. We can continue in the city, and you're getting into, for the first time in a while, like an opportunity to take some downtime, to have like more than a day ish to kind of do with as you please.
Finally.
Kind of thing. And there's going to be some minor developments related to the trial and Birdman, and that's kind of the extent of my plan for this day. Or we can jump to and start to mentally prepare ourselves for like what the forest people are kind of involved in, which they were on their way to go investigate a camp last time we were there.
Seth,
So,
what of what I messaged you?
I haven't checked my Discord yet. Oh, the thing from the other day. Yeah.
I'm here. I don't
Uh.
know what we want to do. What do we want to do, boys? It's up to y'all.
I mean, I miss arrows.
Yeah.
I'm
Point
with
for
you.
me.
I think we should definitely go back to them today. That would be fucking rad.
I
Alright,
get
yeah. Some good downtime sounds wonderful, but yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to stay for like as long today, so
Oh,
That's fine. No
yeah.
worries.
I
Okay.
mean, how much more do we have for like the city?
You guys can take the rest of this day to do things. It's kind of how
Oh,
that
okay,
is
got it.
with the city. Now that you got past this point,
Mm-hmm.
you need to get through this day before like anything else is done.
I think
Shift.
the only thing that Birdman would have to do is try to find somebody who can send a message to Eros.
Okay. Okay.
Eros needs to know what's going on now. It's been too long for her to not know what's going on with me.
Okay. Well, let's take a break and then we'll come back and do a little wrap up with the city, and then maybe at the least have a discussion about the forests, kind of what's going on with them. And then I will need a little more time to prep for what happens next for the city, but we can lean a little more into the forest people by that point. I have their next kind of scene situated at the least. For that. Which is supposed to kind of mirror kind of what's going on now in the city, sort of. We'll get to that. So I need a drink of water. I need to go to the bathroom. Take a couple minutes. We'll come back in a few minutes.
Okay, I'll be right back.
See,
Hold on.
I guarantee that wrap up will take at least 30 minutes, knowing us.
At the very least.
It will not be a quick wrap up. It'll be like, okay, well, let's see. Okay, that took 5 minutes. Up, then that took
I
5.
mean,
Ah,
when I
there's
heard
another
the
5.
war crimes against the dwarves was several months ago, and if you consider how little time actually passed in game,
We're
it's
fine.
Remember,
short.
the past like 6 sessions or so have been one day.
Yeah.
It's been we're gonna say this is Tarrasque's big day.
It's Tarask's not day off.
Yeah. Yeah. This is this is just Setch's big day because he's just doing the most terrorism. I think
He's
And
doing
it's,
the most failed terrorism.
You know what?
Kinda,
Things are going all right for Killian. He one of his
Setch
best
destroyed a
his
couple,
best friend
ballistics.
is very sad though, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
But we can get that going. It's all right.
Yeah, Setch against inanimate objects, he's absolutely amazing. Against living creatures, it's a bit piss poor for recently. Yeah, he couldn't get any power word kills off. He failed the phantasm.
Listen. You just got a little overzealous. It's just like it's your first day back to having the memories and all that. You're like, man, I really just want to go on a murdering rampage, and you're like, oh, the logistics of it. I got to figure that out.
Do I have the resources? Do I have the time? The
Before you
energy?
go on a murdering rampage, you got to think about logistics. Okay.
Exactly. What's the cost benefit?
Just didn't want to do the boring stuff,
Well,
It's
I
just
mean,
like, yeah.
I guess the difference between a mass murderer and a serial killer is just time frame.
One of them has breakfast.
I mean, yeah, the serial killer, he's got that shit planned out. He knows
Yeah, he
exactly
has
who he's going
breakfast.
after. He's like, okay, this is my MO, this is my target. Okay, let's eat some Cheerios.
Versus a mass murderer, it's like double kill, triple kill,
And he doesn't have
quadruple kill,
breakfast.
overkill.
And it doesn't matter how many bodies hit the floor. It's just bodies need to hit the floor. That's all. That's all it is.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
But the bodies hit the floor. That man.
Let the floors hit the bodies?
Yes.
That's essentially the same.
Yeah, it's
true.
kind of the same.
When you're jumping, you're literally just kicking the ground. That's how it is, guys.
When you're flying, you're just falling to the ground and missing.
Yeah.
Well,
And when you're really drunk, the ground attacks you.
All right, I'm back. What kind of fuckery are we talking about now?
I was talking about
you
Killian's doing okay, but he has sad best friend, so that's upsetting. But also, we were also talking about the big day. How it's just been such a big day.
The
It
difference
has
between
been a
mass
big
murder and serial killers. There's a big difference.
I guess.
One of them has breakfast. Yeah.
One of them does have breakfast.
Oh, you gotta be careful, dude. Breakfast strikes back.
I mean, look, if it's just a bowl of cereal,
At least
you'll
it
be
does for
fine.
me. No, it still strikes back.
If you eat pineapple, it literally bites back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stick to just like a whole loaf of bread.
Look, the
We're
mass
good.
murderer, if he
Oh,
is eating
yeah.
breakfast, he's eating like some Chipotle or a
Fuck your
Taco
No.
Bell.
He's
Yeah, fuck your
he's
toilet.
hitting the.
Okay, I am back.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
fuck your toilet.
Okay.
G27.
All right. So you guys have, it's like barely 1-2 p.m. in game at this point. In the afternoon, with where you guys are leaving from the gate, with Killian, Amu, Birdman, Anton, whatnot. Setch is making his way to the Shrine of Messinifex. And then let's continue that circle. Let's go back to Setch, and then we'll circle up to the elves and kind of figure out what their plan is after their rest, and then we'll do a quick kind of catch up with what the center turns out to be, and then figure out what Killian, Amu, Birdman are kind of up to. So, Setch, good sir, the Shrine of Messinifex is these 3 towers that have been almost interlaced with ropes and bridges of sorts between different openings. Very much an Animaesus structure. It does not feel like mud bricks and things like that. It does not feel like the stone and heavy metals and or the kind of wood workmanship that the humans have brought in. You wonder if it's an older structure that was maybe here pre-Tarask, just by how one of the towers is kind of jutting out from the stone. There are a handful of like guards that are corralling, for lack of a better way to put it, a group of weaselkin, a larger group of weaselkin, a couple dozen. The guards themselves are various races. One looks cat, one looks goblin, one looks human. And the weaselkin, they do not look like Putori. They do not look like what Pio is by any means. They are a different species, as best you can tell. But cousins, definitely, to him. It's kind of an open door policy, as one of the few kind of actual religious buildings in the city, openly. Religious buildings in the city, I should say. And it's kind of like a dome arch, like definitely dug out by claws, into the rock itself, kind of structure is what it looks like, and come in and stone walls, mud brick, kind of reinforced, with a couple wood beams here and there that look like they've been shoved in more than like measured out by any means. But then there are furs and feathers and other cloth kind of hanging here and there and on the ground, almost as drapes and rugs at the same time. Some of them kind of almost climb up the walls and down from the ceilings, it seems. And there are a good number of these weaselkin still inside. You start to see more cat. As best you can tell, they are the Lynxen people, which is Masinifex, the first. Masinifex is a shrine to an ancient person who was a Lynxen, so you're not surprised in that aspect. But the more and more imageries you get back, there are tapestries that depict the fight with the Tarask, and the kind of placing of the seals, the initial 5, then it growing to the 8, and then eventually 10, and then eventually 13, and the need for those different things. There are priests here and there. There seems to be a room in the back with scrolls and stuff that doesn't seem like it's guarded off by any means. You can either ask someone or maybe just start looking around. What do you want to do? No. Edwin? Are you back? Did I just narrate all that? He wasn't here.
Funnel worshippers.
Ground harness came loose.
Well,
Well,
Yeah, the rusty ground harness.
that.
well, there we go.
Taken out by a stray boomerang.
I'd like to take one boomerang, please.
Well, we'll circle back then.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's really
That is sad.
Sick.
Okay.
You're gonna have to give the Cliff Notes version. Like, okay,
Yeah,
you
you
go
get a
to a
Cliff Notes
shrine.
version
There's
tomorrow.
there's no guards or whatever. Just go in. There's
You're
some
good.
scrolls. What do you want to do?
No.
Okay. Well, then let's touch base with the elves as they are part of the way. By the point of the conversation wrapping up, you guys are about halfway through your rest. But nevertheless, talking about what you want to do after the rest and or whatnot. Yeah.
I suppose we just continue to wait for Okafor to return, no?
Oh no, that'll be an interesting one.
I mean, he'll be back while you're resting.
Yeah, he'll be back
Orcavor will
pretty fast.
return while you're resting. Yes.
Okay. And then when we finish our rest, we'll know that he's here. We make our way to try to find Orcafor. And yeah, we try to go back into the dungeon, or we find out where he's resting. And then we conduct our good old grand plot.
Yes, precisely.
Meanwhile, at the League of Evil.
Meanwhile, at the League of Evil.
I had a
Like in
chance
the-
to fucking
In the
crush
new
that.
Empire.
Mm,
You
for the
had a
sake of
chance.
peace. For the sake of peace.
You had a chance.
Oh yes, there will be peace.
Pieces of Orcafor.
Yeah.
Peace and security for my new
You
empire.
here, there, and there while you're all over the place.
I am back.
Yeah, now you're
He's back. He's back. He's back.
Hey.
He
At
repaired his
least
Rotanus!
Farwin, at least you know Farwin is a grounded person. He's
That's just grounded.
Well, okay, it just depends on what sort of ground that is, honestly. I'm not really.
The high ground.
Uh,
The high
You're
ground.
not
Oh,
wrong.
you can't have the high ground. You guys are Sith. You're not allowed to
No.
have the high
You're not
ground. How
the high
dare
ground.
you?
I
Don't play
high
by the
ground.
rules, we're
It
safe.
is physically impossible for anyone to have the high ground on me. So
Your ground is shaky at best.
to have the high ground on me, you need like a 20-foot ladder.
Earthquake ground.
Or a flying spell.
Okay.
Okay, if you're flying, that just means I'm swatting you.
Then, with Vedwin returning,
or recycling backpack.
Yeah.
Backpack.
with a side
Alright.
conversation. Okay. Vedwin, the shrine is an ancient building that might be older than the city itself. 3 towers of stone that kind of jut out from the rock bed. Carved out tunnels by ancient Animaesus hands. One of the few structures in the city that do not look like it's been rebuilt by the dwarves or humans. And there's a group of weaselkin, not a different species than the Putori that are part of the 10th house. A few citizen priest guard people of various races. Once you go inside, there's more Linkson, which are the cat people that descended from Messinifex as far as this religion is concerned. And they, I don't know, there's various rooms, prayer rooms. Most of it has rugs or made either of, cloth, of course, or leather skins or furs, or even some feather kind of drapes and things that hug up and down the ceilings and from the floors up the walls a little bit too. There's known to be a room of scrolls. You probably could find it really easily by just going around. It's kind of an open door policy. They're not really checking people in by any means. It's one of the few large religious buildings. So there is that front. It is the City of Salt, but there is that general front that they are here to help the patronage, but their worship does entail the nasty details of what is the Tarask and what the process of the city goes through. So they are... It's kind of warped in a way. They are serving like Tarask blood that's been like boiled down and around, and that's what people are drinking, which isn't healthy, but it tastes good if it's really hot. And there's some free meat everywhere that's like stacked up. A lot of it is the easiest meat to get to, stuff that's cheap and obviously might be on close to expiration date or past it. It doesn't smell very good in here, by any rate, but you can either ask someone or you can try to find the scroll room. It's one of the few places that kind of has like an open library.
I'm gonna like nervously walk up to like the library lady. Is there like a desk or is there like a kind of thing going on?
I do not imagine a desk. I imagine there is a little hole in the back corner that a little mouse woman would be the attendant to that deals with the scrolls, and you'd have to like, Tom and Jerry style, go knock on the little hole and she would come out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up to her and kind of nervous, be like, "Hi, how are you?" And just like just be like a little like nervous little fucking little twerp.
The food is out there.
Oh, I'm not really looking for food, ma'am. I
You look like you should eat more.
yeah, I know I don't have enough money to eat, but I really
The
want
food
to
is
know.
free.
I'm not that hungry at the moment. I'm so hungry that I'm not that hungry.
She kind of shrugs and still looks at you like, "What do you want?"
I really want to know about a certain god. He's pretty cool. I found this thing on the ground, and I really want to know like what he's about. And I'll like I'll present like a crude symbol of Jack.
Um. Okay. I am. I don't recognize this symbol, but that we have scrolls in here that most of them I've never read. This looks like. I don't know. What language is this?
It's not. It's just a symbol. It's not really like a language. It's just like just a symbol.
Kind of reminds me of some of the stuff on down in one of the tunnels, but I don't know what what that is either. Okay, well let's go to I don't know. Row 17 deals with weird symbol things of my people's ancient past. So we'll see what we've gathered. You can roll an investigation check with advantage because she is assisting you as you look for it.
Investigation. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that with my sorcery point.
And she,
Huh.
I'm
um,
gonna I'm gonna re-roll that again with inspiration. There we go. We got there in the end.
all right. With her bonus, it's sufficient, to be sure. You find an old scroll that is, as best you can tell, old, like hundreds of years old. Large, like palm size, your hand or your palm size, like each fish scale sewn together to make a parchment. And on each scale about the size of your palm is written a stanza or an image or something like that. Like it almost suffices as a mini page, if you will. And the it's almost like vellum, if you've ever felt vellum in a way. And it's like they're stitched together to be about the size of like, a piece of paper. So there's a decent amount of information on each one of these quote unquote pages with all these like mini pages that are stitched together, and they're all different sizes and they're wrapped up and kind of stored in almost a spiral sense with this obvious sinew or tendon, maybe even from the Tarrasque that holds them and binds them together. And she explains that this is how the ancient Animaesus, they did not know paper until the humans brought it. They did not understand this idea of what you could do by tearing down trees. And the way she says tear down trees, you can tell she is ambivalent to the process now, but it is something that upset the ancient people. They were very druidic, the ancient Animaesus, and the you're able to go through a almanac, an encyclopedia. It's really it's odd. What you're not exactly sure what it is, but it has various symbols, and some of them remind you of the symbol you see, but they're all different. And it takes you until you turn to the equivalent of like the fourth chapter, which is like 40, 50 pages in of like 100 pages. And there's on this page, it's almost like the way it's stitched, it almost looks like DNA or something, like in the modern sense. I don't know if Setch knows what that is, but there's this weird spiral with how it's stitched in it. The spiral, the symbol grows and changes, and eventually you see the symbol in halfway down down the page of your symbol, and she's just like looking at the notes and stuff that's been left by other researchers. She's like, I didn't know we had this book. According to this, this is Ancient Celestial. I cannot read that. Can you?
I don't think I can read Celestial. Let me see.
This god you speak of, there's only this one page written about it.
No, I don't speak Celestial.
So, here, if you would like to give me a day, I can copy this page for you. To the best of my ability, I'm pretty capable. I can show you my work.
It?
Oh, no, I can copy it.
Is there anybody here that can translate it?
Let me. Who put the note here? This is
Seymour Butts.
yes, Seymour Butts.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Alright, that's canon. It's in the law.
Even more. Oh no.
Why is this
Lord.
canon? What have you done to us?
Lord, butthole worshippers.
I forgot that's fucking canon. Holy shit.
You've just made that canon.
Yeah, no, it was not. It was a shocking realization from last
Shocking
session.
development.
I was looking at another character to see if another character, and then as I realized they didn't speak that, you said Seymour Butts, so there you go. That's how it gets created.
You motherfuckers.
I'm gonna look at one other character to see if there's an opportunity. But no, okay. Celestial is not a common language on this continent by any
God
means.
damn it, dog.
You would know that much from your ancient connection. The drow that your ancestors come from, their lands, Celestial was spoken commonly because of various reasons, but one of them, most importantly, they had actual Celestials that they fought against, is the easiest way to put it, I guess.
And the goddamn robot Shinji.
So you could do some quote unquote downtime like research to see if you can find someone, and we can, if you roll well enough, find someone. But I have specifically made Celestial with most Animaesus to be a really rare language to have. So it's kind of like if I don't know, do any of you PCs have one?
Yes, Seth, because I'm very old.
No.
Okay, so I think.
Nope.
I don't know if I think that would only be Setch's only other idea is like one of the magic houses, like the 11th or 9th house, would be a place that would have someone that would know that
Oh.
kind of thing. Most of the other houses would not. The only other one that you, other than the seventh house, you've kind of been connected to, like you could go attempt to talk to the current Masinifex, which is, if you wanted to at his tower or whatnot. The only other idea that might come to mind is the eighth house. The eighth and 13th house bards have knowledge of things, so like there's a chance that someone might know something. You'd have go if you go there, but that would involve some carousing checks.
I'm just gonna be like, can I just like kind of read it myself, and I know I can kind of take it from here.
Yes.
Take the original secret text.
You cannot take the original sacred text, no, but I can make a copy for you. Just
Oh,
give me.
I don't want to take it. I just want to just read it. Just have a look over it.
Oh yeah, you can stay here and read. You can come back as often as you want, but I didn't. This text is obviously priceless.
But yeah, that's fine. I just kind of want to read it. It's a library, right?
She kind of nods and folds her arms and kind of skitters away and lets you do your piece.
Cool. Is anybody around me?
We do a little
You-
trolling.
You've gone to like mass terrorism to like library
Art
thievery.
theft. Yeah.
Petty
Yeah.
thievery.
To, like late books.
Listen,
Petty
tyranny
thievery,
doesn't
indeed.
happen overnight.
You could just wait a day.
Could've just
and
waited
just
for
be
Tyranny.
like,
Yeah, she
No,
would've
tyranny
graduated,
involves control. This is anarchism. You're going
But
for,
I want
buddy.
it now.
There are two people, like, down, like, 10 paces from you, like, around one of the, like, quote-unquote bookshelves. So you're not alone, but no one's, like, right next to you at this
Ugh.
point.
I'm just gonna look deadpan at those people. I'm just gonna just start staring at them like a weird little kid. You know how like kids stare at like people?
Yes.
I'm gonna stare at them, and then subtle cast teleportation, and then teleport to my house
With the book.
with the book. Yes.
Okay, so. Okay. I need to
Better make that
I need to
copy.
write a note. I need to write a note. Teleports.
come on,
Yeah.
even the devil himself wouldn't do this type of shit,
Um,
man. That's fucked up.
I mean, it's
what you have here is, how do I word this? Player knowledge, right? What you
Uh-huh.
have here is the equivalent of like I don't want to say the Bible, like that's not the right word. Like,
like the original.
It's like
Bible.
the Bible.
like
Is it like the Bible of a king or something?
yeah,
Like
you have
that?
like it's like more than that though. Like it's literal like it's actual like history stuff too. Like it's actual like a lexicon of like language, history, and religion. It's more than just like like there's a lot of actual like I don't know. I don't know how to word it right now. I don't know the word I'm looking for.
It's basically an entire, not to say biography, but like a
Yeah.
biography of the religious and cultural history surrounding
Yeah.
gods and worships and the cultures beneath
A
them.
historical
From
document.
the Animaesus perspective, though, like it's written by a group of Animaesus writers, which maybe is one of I think from your Drow point of view, more than the Setch point of view, but I don't know. Animaesus knowing Celestial is a weird thing. So knowing that this was written by an Animaesus in Celestial, but then there's also the understanding that you put together the last time Celestial came up was when you were helping Mel try to figure out the word of power.
Is there a possibility that I'm in this book?
Not you, no, but the idea of Drow from an Animaesus perspective when they first met them would be referenced in here.
Yeah. So I've got rightful ownership of this book now.
Yeah, by the 5-finger discount.
Yes, the 5-figure discount.
Possession is
back.
like, you know,
Hell
almost
yeah!
everything.
That's such a
Yeah.
good way to put it, man. I love that you've done this.
Okay. All right, you're going back home to your apartment.
On my way home, can I just get like a lead lockbox? Is that a thing I can do?
How big of a lead box?
Big enough for the book.
Big enough for the book. This is a
Give me some
sizable
lead
book.
pipes.
Like it's a weird book. It's like imagine this like stone spike tooth thing, and then there's like different rings that are connected to it, and on each ring there's these wound up pages, these like fish scale pages, and you have to like. It's an awkward thing, but it is quote unquote a book. You can. Okay. Let's say like 5 gold for it.
Yeah, 5 gold's easy.
Okay.
How much gold have I made passively from stealing PO shit? Well.
You haven't exactly cashed in yet, but a significant amount.
Oh fuck yeah. Well, while I'm
Um,
doing that, I'm gonna cash in, I think. If that's not too much of a risk.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll need to do some math
You
later.
can let me know later if you want.
Yeah, I'll let you know
It's not
later.
like immediate.
Okay. Then, as you probably go down to settle, read the book, it sounds like, take some rest.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
away from the chaos of the city.
Sleep.
Then let's go to the Tower of Evil.
I like that.
And
The League of Evil!
there
gotta read
is
Meanwhile,
the obvious commotion mid-rest that comes
Should be a
from the
skull.
tower as Orcafor returns in an angry but excitable huff.
Alive at the grace of my fucking.
Yeah, you easily could have taken him out. So I'm just but he returns the the different wizards that are here all attending to his every whim as he comes in, and you guys just like hearing the commotion in your rooms respectively or jointly your opinion on during your rest because you don't exactly sleep. So I imagine that would eventually quiet down, and then there would eventually be a magical summons through like a message, basically equivalent of a message spell through the tower itself for you to have this meeting kind of with him. That the location is something to be debated, I guess, by this point.
I mean, he didn't like to the extent I understand with the Alucard thing. He's not like telling everyone about this. I mean, he told Pio about this to an extent, which I mean, I understand the extent of why he did it, but still doesn't make sense. This is a man that is a merchant of secrets, but I mean, I don't think he's telling everyone in the 11th house. Oh yes, I have Alucard here in my dungeon.
No.
You
Okay. So I do think. Let me look at his one.
If I understood that correctly, there's a summons but no determined location.
Yeah.
Yo, let's meet up. Okay, where?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Yo.
there's the implication of you meet him in his, dormitory situation, but you guys could,
We meet him in his dormitory.
yeah.
Okay. Well, first question, Seth. I don't, because time has been super convoluted. I assumed I was going to do this anyway. Why is it to GM? But or I guess you can answer the question if to determine if I need to do this. Did 24 hours pass? Would you say it makes sense that 24 hours would have passed from everything that's gone on since the last time I did it? And the last time I did it was basically around the time we had to interrogate Alucard the first time.
Wasn't that the same day? Because that was before or after the move.
Interrogation of Alucard, I'm pretty sure.
No, that was after the move.
Yeah, that was definitely
Yeah.
after the moves.
So it's still the same day.
Yeah, that was like early this morning.
Okay, then I guess I keep the slot. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
convoluted.
Yeah, time is super convoluted.
Well,
Time
that's
is
what
weird.
happens when you get into like a D&D fight that lasts for hours.
All right. So then, in that
Long day.
instance, ritual cast this with Tenebris. I say it is time to be prepared. I would give him 3 mind crystals in my possession. Earlier, before our rest, I did go down to the dungeons to get some rope. I wanted to partition part of that rope and tie it into like a monkey's fist knot. Would there be a check to kind of do that?
My brain's like, I don't know what you mean by monkey fist, but yeah.
Okay, basically a knot that's equivalent of a ball, the size of a ball.
Okay. You're making a rope flail. Gotcha.
Yes, but that's just part of the rope. The rest of the rope I have in my possession.
What
And-
what's the point of this?
Oh, the point of the rope? Well, again, our plot is to assassinate Orcafor. So once we get into the right position, this is going to be a makeshift gag.
Okay. Okay.
I
You
can't
guys might
wait
get
for
on
this
my
shit
good
to go
side if
tits
you
up.
successfully kill that guy.
Okay.
That'll be
okay.
really bad, by the way, when that
Yeah.
happens.
Unless they got the bind whole thing figured out, it's probably gonna be horrible.
Unless they have Soul Cage, there's no way that this is going well.
Yeah.
Huh. I
And
wonder
before
if
we
they
go
could
in
possibly
there, I
have gotten
guess-
Soul Cage from him.
Okay. If they can successfully use detect thoughts, you can maneuver it, but yes. That's a harder thing to do. Especially when mind blank is involved.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
In
That spells OP.
understandable. Indeed. And they're full. I guess Tenebris and I would do this to ourselves.
Yep.
Well, he did that, so I guess I'll do this.
Oh my god.
Jesus motherfucker.
Wizard! If I cast this on you and you cast this on me, I don't have to concentrate on that.
We're
I
going
can
to be
concentrate on
here.
this. Well, I'm concentrating on this. Well, don't take damage.
Oh yeah, the answer to this on us both with a second level slot.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yes.
But I have a T-Rex that eats force field dogs.
Wait, what? What the fuck?
Toy
you
Story.
didn't know
Come
you got that
on,
reference?
Toy
Never
Story.
Toy Story.
Oh, come on. I watched that recently with my nephew. All right. Okay. All right, you're cast a bunch of spells, and they're gonna go to. Do you want to suggest a different meeting, or are you going to the dormitory where it's implied?
If it's a message, I would question, why not in the dungeon? I presume this is something you want us to be private. After all, the last time you requested I meet down there with you.
I have other developments that you need to see from my scrying table.
It sounds like they're meeting up for a hookup. What's this?
They're meeting up for something.
Why can't we just go meet in the bathroom at this
It's
No
a
one
point?
hookup
pregnant
or
by two
something.
elves.
And then I would ask, after this, then we will go downstairs. Or do you wish to table what I have discovered for you?
Do we really need a la carte for that discovery?
Much as though this, what I have seen, I want to ensure that you do not misinterpret what I have seen. And as you needed me. Oh, what do you need?
I would like a charisma deception check.
All right, deception.
Wait, do I have deception? I can get the shit.
This is where you meet up. He tells you you have $4 and
Okay, well, fine. I will just take me an extra 15 minutes.
All right, I will meet you downstairs. Or do you prefer I meet you at the entrance?
There's not a response.
Ah, come on, man. It's like, come on, we're making these meetings. It's like, meet you at the entrance then. All right, or
I'm
Oh,
imagining
no,
there's like a
we have all of
magical
each other's
telephone
attentions.
line throughout the whole tower.
Yes, basically. That
I mean,
Orcafor controls.
at this point, we have so many sending spells. It should just be a permanent texting thing.
All right. You. Okay. You make your way down the various flights of stairs, odd magical elevators, rope tricks, various things that are used, interdimensional gates and stuff that Orcafor has established over the last few centuries, and you find your way. You are early. Orcafor has not arrived yet.
And well, while we are doing this, I also hand Forwin or before we leave the room, rather, and Forwin the brazier of controlling fire elementals, just in case we need the extra help.
Oh, okay. 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 I have a brazier of summoning fire and elementals. Wait, is that concentration? I think it is. Hmm. Okay. Oh, I'll take it.
I need a map.
We're never getting so forced.
Well, probably not. Now
Things
that
just got interesting.
things just got a little complicated, it's alright. Yeah.
So,
I knew
Alright.
this would happen too. Fucking
Yeah.
dumb.
Uh,
Also, I know you meant brazier, but you're saying brazier.
My bad.
Yeah,
yeah.
he
My
was saying
bad.
booty.
brazier was actually the correct pronunciation. I didn't even know that.
Brazier.
Yeah, because brazier means bra.
Oh,
Really?
booty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, different spelling.
Yeah, it's a
Double
different spelling, but it's the pronunciation that I'm harping on right now.
You know, bra in German is just BH, which is short for boob holder, and I think it is funny.
I mean, that's a perfect name.
Yeah, it is.
It that I love the
Boob holder?
simplicity.
It's
I
what
love
it
the
does.
simplicity of that.
That's
I love
perfect.
It's what it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, it's just a boob holder.
That's funny.
German seems like one of those languages where they just kind of throw everything out on the line. You know?
It's like if you called socks feet gloves.
Yeah.
We call that's what we call gloves. We call
They're
them hand shoes.
sock hand shoes.
Hand shoes?
Hand shoes.
Yeah,
Oh!
it translates to hand shoes.
They just put everything out on the line for you. They're just like,
Yeah,
this is what
it's
this
a very
is.
simple language.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I mean,
I'll be right back. Gotta use the restroom for a bit.
to be fair, even Japanese does that sometimes. Like your feet are just called like leg hands.
One more thing I think I would do actually while we're waiting. I would do that for athletics.
Okay. For me to give the full justice to this that I want to give this, I need more time to prepare this map.
Yeah, this
Um,
this is too
a
fast.
battle arena?
like,
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna be
It
no,
needs one.
we all know eventually this is going to turn into a fight. So
Well,
I would like to. I don't have a map that I'm satisfied with that I've found in these brief moments
But if
that-
all goes according
ambush
to
him.
plan, there will be no fun.
that represents what I want to have for the imagery here, and I don't want to waste your guys' time by searching for a while or drawing it or whatever. So, and if this is going to be the end of Orca 4, I would like it to have that justice.
Very true. So we go back to the force for now?
Because Orca 4 is one of the. Well, let's
I missed.
let's type in chat any reminders you wizards need to type in about these various spells that you cast for this stuff if you need to. We will come back to them as one of the first kind of things we do probably next session. Is where my brain's at. And then let's
Yes.
let me write.
It was so perfect. We were healed up. Orc 4 was wounded. It would have been the perfect assassination. Oh.
But he still will be wounded.
Well, he's had enough time for a short rest. That's all he's had enough time for.
Mm-hmm.
So he used a handful of spells in the fight with Killian. So he didn't directly attack Killian. He's not that dumb. Okay. So let me write a note that, and because I would like you guys, I don't know, I just have this imagery of these tunnels, and I want time to see if I can find something. For it, the tunnels that lead to the morgue, quote unquote, where Alucard's being held. Then let's do one more touch base with the. You guys would have a 5 to 10 minute walk back to the center of the Tarask. Is there anything Killian, Birdman, Amu would like to roleplay or do on the way to the center? And then the center can be something that we attempt to roleplay, narrative kind of describe that happens, or it can be something that next week we roll initiative for if you wanted you guys to do it that way. So, but to my first question, that 5-10 minute walk, jog, run, whatnot back to the center of the city. Is there anything you guys would like to do?
I just think Birdman's disheveled right now, man. He's just not having a good time. It's not been a good day for him, I think.
I mean, Killian offers to carry him, so.
This is okay. I have to remember what I want to meta it. Did Birdman mention Eros and the others while talking to Amu?
No, probably not.
I don't think that's been brought up. No.
Like even if it's like a vague sense, like you have friends that you left. You're not even mentioning anyone in particular.
I think that's been.
Well, I think the only indication that has happened this session is when you stepped forward to talk to the gnome and said you had knowledge of Cash. Like, that would be the only implication I could see from Amu maybe putting together that he was part of another group before, or part of another team that was involved with that. But that's my perspective for this
Yeah.
session.
I mean, I don't think he would. I think he'd be thinking more along the lines of, you know, I guess he would. I guess he would ask Birdman, are you really this alone in the city? You have no one at your side?
Oh, I wouldn't say no one. I mean, I've been hanging out with Killian, and I haven't seen Setch in a couple days.
The slow burn of Mel that you guys just passed in your mind's eye.
My other friend is raising an army to fight the one that exists, and Bed really doesn't want to talk to me. So yeah, I think so. Other than, I mean, of course, Killian. Like,
I mean,
That
yeah, I'm right here.
yeah, Killian. I don't. I remember him well. I think
Anton's trying to keep up with you all. I'm here for you too, Birdman.
I fucking hate you, Anton. that's like,
I'm just standing here
That
like
was so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm here for you, Birdman. Where did you come from, bro?
He's
Who is this guy?
He's
Fuck
trying to
off.
keep
Who
you
invited
focused.
this guy?
Yeah.
He's going back to the center with you all.
He needs to not do that.
You know, he's like the guy that joins the clique out of nowhere.
What the hell? You trying to kill all my friends.
Anton's face is one of apology and one like don't hit me at the same time.
I'll fucking kill you. Like, I'm literally
He's
You're like,
unstable.
fuck up, Anton. How's your wife going?
I don't care. Like, I think we all just look at him like, bro, what? Like,
Not the time, bro. Not the time.
when he shows up, like, I'm here for you, Birdman. Wait,
You got- He's kind of stunned by all the looks you're giving him, and then your long legs like force him to just have to run faster to try to keep up with you all.
we
'cause-
just keep walking at
Because
a normal brisk pace.
Killian can like, I don't know. Killian, your speed's like 60 or something, 50
Yeah.
or 60. Like yeah, and he's pretty much a regular ass gnome. So
No, we keep walking at a brisk pace that an elf and a large man can
At a
go.
yeah,
medium
he
pace.
is faster than the average gnome, but he is not super fast.
faster than the average gnome.
Faster than the average gnome.
All right,
So
you
crazy,
guys
dude.
get to the Prime Gate. Getting to the Prime Gate, the is there anything else you guys want to do on your way there?
Is there anybody that I know that can send a message to Eros? Besides this dumbass gnome that's next to me? I think he can, but I'm gonna hope it's not him.
Can Anton? That's the question.
Well, you
No, Anton can create a sending stone.
Yo.
He does
But
not.
how
have
do I get a
sending.
sending stone to Eros?
Yeah.
well, you technically do. And
They're not here right now.
well, they're not in the vicinity, but they are in the city. And happens to know Eros quite well. So technically,
Talking about Mel.
no, her dad. Her
Oh,
dad's in the city.
right. That's right. I have to go find him. I forgot. Fuck. I think Birdman like realizes like, wait, I have to go. Like,
What? Where
I
are you
have to-
going?
I have to go find that funny man that we met.
Oh,
at
the
bar.
guy? You're just going to...
Yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
guy. That guy is very
Um,
important to finding out, getting a message across.
Yes, Cerulean. Yes, he is. His
I forgot he was here, bro. It's been so stressful.
Spread your wings, Birdman.
spread your wings and fly.
I will like take Amu and give him to the large man. Like hold him up like go Amu.
My very open robe, just like, come on.
You know yes, go Amu. You know what you need to do. I trust that you will do the city proud. Even though I know
Don't-
you don't really like this city and everybody in this city also treats you like shit and it's really dirty and nasty and smells really bad.
I got you.
I know that
Actually,
you'll
the-
do what you can to give these people clean water and not poison them.
Was I able to like get the wolves to do the water stuff? By the way,
Yes, it is just taking some time. It'll just take,
Fine, yeah.
you know, the time you will. By the time you're done with the center, I imagine they'll be done.
Or I could run you to
Handing out
Theo real
most of the
quick
stuff.
if that's what you want to do.
Amu would cross over to Killian, and he'll also say at the same time,
Actually, the 10th house is like a second home to me in a way. They're very nice. Most other people don't know me, so it's not. I don't really have the same social troubles you have. Sorry.
It's okay. That's okay.
Please don't go jumping off buildings or eating strange liquids.
No promises.
Isn't that like his whole thing?
Is it his
Yeah.
whole thing?
It is my
I mean,
whole thing.
that's the first thing I sort of saw him do.
I mean, it is for
Jump out a
me as
window.
well.
Yep, one of the first
Jump
things you
out a
saw.
window, and then like an hour later, I licked a frog in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
My entire understanding of him.
He is more mentally ill than I thought.
Get out of my way, dude! I'm gonna go meet and probably yell at an old man. That's not you. I'll be going through this door now. Thanks.
Okay, so Birdman's not going to the center then.
No.
You walk into a door of a random house, then jump out their window.
Yes.
he walks into the first door he sees and jumps out the window.
Excuse me. Run up the stairs.
Um.
And you
alright.
see it all. It's not hidden from you.
He
A
waits-
single tear rolls down my eye.
a
Many
single
tears.
tear rolls down Amu's eye, but for a very different reason.
It's beautiful. It's like watching. It's watching a bird flying free.
It's very sad and depressing to look at.
I would like, I think, each of you, you two, I guess now, and Anton, to contribute some sort of skill
Oh god.
check to and or other insert other idea here. To basically influence this next scene. As you will come back after most of the fighting is done, with how many minutes you've been gone. And there is a standoff sort of going on by this point.
Mhm.
As the two members of the fifth house are making their claim for their lord, and the member of the 11th house is loosely disagreeing with them. And there are more god butchers and other members from the various houses kind of watching on. And in between these two groups, you have the ever brave little Lustelli man that is trying to be the mediator as best as he can. And arguments be of him for peace and, you know, definitely using lines of, words that Killian was saying to him, but by this point, a few hours, ish.
Homie was a
And there is just one thing missing: someone being stupid to make this turn into mass murder.
Oh,
If
Okay.
someone like the tensions are very high.
Okay,
Everyone,
Who's being stupid? What?
Someone
if someone does, if
Oh,
someone
if
be
someone's
stupid,
being
if
okay.
someone be stupid, and then after, as you get closer, Amu and Killian and Anton, you see, presumably dead, on the ground, a piece of someone's cloak or something to that effect thrown over him. The Platutu.
yeah, you have it coming.
He kind of did.
He's a fucking menace.
And basically, what do you three want to do? Anton will kind of. I'll see. He's gonna take the last action. He's gonna see what you guys
Okay.
do. To see how he can assist first. So you can a skill, a spell, whatever you want to do here. This is more of a narrative skill challenge kind of thing.
So
yeah.
hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Amu is going to. I want to do an insight check to kind of see, where's the weak point. Like who looks the closest to breaking, type of thing.
Okay.
I will gather a plate of baby fingers and feed it to a dog in front of the mothers of said babies. What the fuck?
I will give you an inspiration point based upon that disgusting description.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
don't know where any of that was.
Okay.
The entire time you were saying that, I was just like in awe of in confusion.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Oh goodness. Okay, well, with a 23, let me look at some sheets. Uh,
I miss having reliable talent.
Right now, you have unreliable talent.
It's so
Druids.
fucking.
But druids, you can do all these other things.
I know how I
Skills.
feel, bro.
Instead
I
of
had to rely on nothing but my proficiencies for like 5 years, bro. That just sucks ass.
I am a barbarian in mainly social encounters. How do you think I feel?
I know exactly how
Okay.
you feel.
Been
I
there, my
never,
dude. I've been
I
there.
don't think I think there was a point as Alec where we went like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 weeks in a row where I don't think I rolled above a 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
Literally
no,
was
hold
like
It will either
I was like cracking
be,
orc.
and you're leaning more towards the latter of these two. It will either be Jägermeister and the God Butchers, just trying to swoop in and make sure this doesn't aggravate more by aggravating it more. Or
Of course.
the Wizard of the 11th house, this Avis person. He seems ready to set off more than any others.
Okay.
Kill him now.
And Amu is going to say to Killian, the god butchers look to have intentions of ending the violence, potentially with more violence, but that Avis wizard, I feel he is one twig break from snapping himself.
Killian, you were there during the fight I described at the beginning of the session. That wizard was the one who summoned the whirlwind, who did the most damage with his various spells. At one point, he polymorphed Anton.
Okay.
And he
yeah.
does not. I don't know. Like, there's a vibe on him that doesn't set your stomach right. There's just something off about him.
Um. So he's. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna just go up. I don't like this guy. But I'm gonna walk up and just make my presence known, of course. And it's a standoff here. Huh.
There's
How many fifth house members are there?
2.
Okay. And then also, we have Anton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's just the one wizard now? That's left?
Yes.
Okay. Let us all just take a moment here. And I'm gonna just try and do let's see. Well, I don't know if I want to do persuasion or intimidation. How like finicky does this the wizard look?
Like shifty?
Like how close is he like rearing to cast a spell right now? Or
As Amu said, one twig away
okay, yeah,
from
okay.
snapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, and I guess,
I'll
and from what you've seen, he's more. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to do persuasion. I think I'm gonna just like go speak. Listen, conflict is not going to solve anything anymore. We've had enough of blood shed today. We must secure the bind and make sure that we are all ready for any other assaults. The fifth house has more members here and can more quickly secure, as their house is less damaged by this conflict. And, of course, the leader is right with us. Let us see this as the most current logical option until we can figure out a long-term one. I then just look at the wizard. And I'll just roll persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm pretty good at this. Uh,
I can give you guidance. I have a guidance.
okay. I'll take
So it
it.
begins.
Can I use an inspiration to gain something on there? Just the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I forget if you do it how like you want me to roll again, or I just use the bigger number.
You
that I
can do
use
it
now.
that way. That's true. We've done that in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So it's like 23 then.
23.
A little better.
Okay.
A little better. Yeah. I'm gonna just then like look over at the wizard that I fought for a while there.
Okay. Anton.
Being so very, very forgiving and kind to these people. So kind.
This is where we find out Anton really is that awkward guy inserting himself into a group.
If he fucks this up, I'm gonna just like, I'll fight the Tarrasque right now. I don't care. I'm gonna kill him.
I will spend an inspiration point and give it to Greed.
Thank you.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I
give
will
it to
spend-
the enemies.
I will
Give
spend
me
an
another.
inspiration point and give it to Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah, fired.
At least it's above a 15.
Yield perception on that one.
Oh,
We're
But it's
both
the same
It's the
bonus.
same thing. It's the
Doesn't
same
matter.
thing.
it's the same bonus, so yeah, it doesn't
Whatever.
matter. Okay, so Anton would say, I think something along the lines of, if anyone deserves to have claim to this, I think it is I. more than anyone else, but I will say no. I will say no, this claim is not deserved. That yes, there is too much blood today. And there is a larger problem at stake that even you, lassie, points at the bird, are not seeing the full picture of, I think, at this point. Stand down. Neenan, Krelly, stand down. And the two kind of flyers that were here kind of back off a little bit. And the wizard, the Avis named Lassie, is going to... well enough then, I guess. And he's going to cast a dimension door, and he goes away. You can get the stage chords. So, Amu and Killian, both of you get 2 inspiration points. And Anton debriefs with his compatriots. The tone calms down a little bit, and the Musteli comes over to you all, who was part of the 6th house, and I'd just like to say thank you. Here's more than I was expecting today. That was a lot. Oh my good! I was just told to go watch the shiny thing and all these things, and then you growing big and a whirlwind and guns flying. It was a... And then they've got the eagle. Is the eagle going to destroy us all? That's what we're all wondering by this point.
Who the fuck is
figuring
Irish?
that out. We're figuring that one out as well.
One.
Yes, of course. What's your name again? I'm not sure I got it.
Oh wait! I wasn't sure if I... Nonetheless, he holds out his hand. He's slightly taller than Amu, but not by much. He is the same quote-unquote species as Amu. Actually, how tall is Amu?
Amu is, I believe, I made him. Yeah, 2 feet tall.
Okay, yeah, so he's taller. He's almost a foot taller than you. And he holds out his hand. He introduces himself as Gauche. GOC, and he is dressed in chainmail, gorgeous looking chainmail, and he has this double-bladed scimitar slung on his back that has imagery of a... what color dragon? A blue dragon.
Cool.
I know. It is well met, Killian. It is, yes.
Killian Kings.
And I don't know you. You are. He kind of squints at Emu.
Hi, friend. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry. I was distracted. Anyway.
Yeah, yes. Hi, I am Amu, the druid of the Circle of Spores.
Not with a house? Oh, yeah, it would seem.
Technically, I am brothers with Pio, but no, I am not officially aligned with the city.
He gives a look to Killian like, who the fuck is Pio, but doesn't ask the question.
Just give him like a. It's whatever. Don't worry about it.
Like for Amu, like Pio is commonplace, but for a lot of people in the city, a lot of people don't know of Pio.
Binder Lord. Guy. Big
Well, I
guy.
must go report to my binder lord, I think, after everything is here. Do you think your wolves got it in order, or... I've heard troubles going on, and I heard you helped solve some of those troubles with the first house. They still happen. The howls have been going all day.
We are trying to make sure we get everything in order. Fortunately, we have at least strengthened some, bonds between the houses today. So that is working. I'll make sure everything's good in my house. And please, we are trying to make sure all of the houses are united at this time as much as we can.
Well, if you and yours are leading the 10th house into their succession, then I think I can convince the sixth house to be along the way.
Right then. I am happy to work with you.
Well, I gotta convince my cousin. First and foremost, well met. Strange day. Something I will never forget.
Starts to skitter off. Killian and Amu. This is one of the first genuine people you've met today in the city.
Chill ass dude. I clocked that guy as a chill ass dude before he even talked.
You know, like
I knew that
there's
dude.
it's a rare thing to find in this city someone that's just that has that kind of so and he is a fighter mechanically. You would have kind of picked up on that vibe. And his magic sword allows him to cast other magic, you're pretty sure. Like that sword is intense. His sword is something that's just like a heirloom of his people that's been passed down for generations. It's so gorgeous. And then one thing I want, as he turns around, you see that the double-bladed scimitar, one side is obviously made of blue dragon and accented that way. The other one is it almost looks like a khopesh sort of thing going on with how it's curved. And you can, I don't know, Killian, you are someone that knows combat. Like this guy knows how to fight. Like he's one of those people that
you got the moves.
Yeah.
So
he skitters off and is going back to the 6th South by Seal and then on to the 6th South to go get them. Which I think Killian and Amu get another inspiration point.
Yippee!
For kind of ensuring in some ways that the 6th house is on your side. Kind of with what you've done there.
Just want to fucking make friends.
Yeah. Well, and the 6th house is a neutral house, so it's kind of that'd be good. That'd be beneficial. They lean with Pio though, so like Amu doesn't know that because Amu doesn't know the city, but Birdman would know that the 6th and 10th house are very, very close. So okay. You guys having dealt with that situation, you have the rest of your evening to kind of deal with. Or your afternoon, evening in game kind of deal with. Is there anything you would like to kind of declare now as kind of what you want to do? And then it sounds like wrapping up with Birdman's kind of sending makes sense, maybe.
Yeah. Amu would say to Killian, "Well, we have seemed to have accomplished some level of peace. More thanks to you than me. I was merely here."
Your insight aided in the diplomacy to a great extent.
Well, that is good to hear. I should go back to my brother and inform him of what is happening with the
these strange visitors from the wherever they are from and their seeming intentions. If you will excuse me.
Of course. But make sure if you need anything, please do come to me. I'll be dealing with things back at the first house. Summon clone.
What?
It's a thing.
Wait, I vaguely remembered it, but I don't know from where.
I'm surprised Birdman. Because we saw, well, we didn't see, but it was Setch that did that. And
Well,
now,
Setch just does that naturally.
I do that naturally. I've got a magical item that lets me do it.
You actually just naked all the time. You're just wearing disguise self.
Yeah.
No, I've got a armor of glamour.
Yeah, you do. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And then just like gonna split ways, and I still have to fucking deal with Kane. I'm gonna go get him and bring him to the first house. So like we can like, or like, cause he does not have any protection anymore in his house, right?
He
Um,
doesn't have a house.
other than the immediate
House
guards
doesn't
you
exist.
left with him, no. Yeah, he's
No, exactly. Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
second
take
house.
him.
Based upon what Garuld has done and what happened at this fight, the second house is fucked. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I'm taking him to the first house because that's
Okay.
like the only place he can be safe.
Okay. Amu is investigating the dwarves' intentions,
Yeah.
and you are taking.
I'm getting Kane to the first house, and then I'll be dealing with fucking, I don't know, the internal disputes as much as I can.
Almost going back to Pio.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I probably have to go now.
Well,
Honestly.
this is
So,
where I was thinking.
Yeah.
Other than Birdman's thing, kind of wrapping up. So, do you?
We'll have to do that now.
We don't have to do that now necessarily either.
Yeah.
So why don't we just pause here and then we can, if you would like, you guys can handle the sending via text or something if you want, for that.
Yeah.
And
I'll think about what
because
I want to send.
I
'cause it's
imagine you're just
25
gonna
info.
find Cerulean and Rexani's like bar,
Yeah.
and then eventually it'll be an easy enough conversation. We can kind of just quickly narrate it that as that for now.
Yeah.
And then that will, yeah, you guys just need to think on, any downtime things you want to do for the city folk. And then next week, it looks like, based upon where we're at a good transition to go back to forest people. So,
that-
like, wrap up the city folk next week with Orcafor's attempted assassination.
attempted.
You
What
haven't
can I say?
succeeded
We
yet.
cannot-
You have
You
to
haven't
kill him,
succeeded
bro.
yet.
The plan is so
Yet.
thorough, we're going to succeed.
Like,
something
okay,
tells
like
me he has rare actions.
I have a feeling it's going to be. Okay, let me word it this way. I didn't make Orcafor all powerful. Okay, he's not like
Mhm.
super duper strong. Like that wasn't the point of Orcafor.
That's
But
the
nevertheless, that doesn't mean he has to be alone.
But that was the point of the assassination.
Oh
Yes.
man, Killian's just gonna be looking at the tower, watching it blow up,
Yes,
just sipping
but
some tea.
I would like
First,
to
watching
give
that
an inspiration
elemental with
point.
Shadowspawn.
I would like to give an inspiration point to Francis, Vedwin, and Brandon. And then one more to Greed to squash my inspiration points for now.
Oh yeah.
As part of the reason why Orcafor is aware of, as I just spent 4 to make, Orcafor is kind of aware that something's fishy. So he doesn't feel 100% right about this situation.
It's just the usual wizards plotting to kill other wizards.
Exactly. You guys are Sith
He
lords,
also
and
knows
he's the
about the
Sith
rule of
master.
third. Yeah, he knows about the rule of 2, bro.
He knows about the rule of 2, and you're trying to take his throne. Come on.
What, we're making the rule of 2 canon here? Oh, sweet.
Of course, the rule of 2 is canon. You guys are fucking evil.
Oh, this is literally just like a full-on Sith plot. You got an
Yeah.
apprentice, and then
Yes.
immediately went to kill your master.
And like,
And it even makes sense when I
at
don't
this
have a
point you should
lightsaber.
change Orca4's alignment. He is kind of evil by this point, but he didn't start the campaign as evil.
I mean, no, I mean I agree with that. I'm just like, bruh, like us taking out Orca 4, we'd be doing more good than harm to the city.
you will be.
No,
As
you
long-
would
okay.
not.
I
As
mean,
long
as
as
Morrowind,
long as
yes.
you keep
Lord
stable, I'm
Gravitas,
cool
which
with
you
it.
don't know about.
Depends.
Oh,
It depends on what happens with the word of power. Like that
Yes.
depends. Like
And-
how you guys manipulate the ownership of the word of power will determine whether or not this is a true evil or beneficial act, benevolent
And I'm
act.
taking the Junta Paul philosophy with swords hurt more than lightsabers, and therefore swords are preferable.
Yes.
I was
Okay.
thinking about this
Yeah.
because I have a
Yeah.
lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Nova's got to go.
I gotta
So
go.
Nova, you
So
got.
I'm gonna give. Well, okay. I have 4 inspo.
Okay.
So and then I'm gonna recommend. Let's see. Yeah. Birdman had enough emotional breakdowns that I just feel like he needs it. So yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
He's
fucked.
gaining some emotional intelligence about this.
I was talking
watched
to my roommate about
I watched a
this,
full
too.
character arc today.
Yeah, you did.
I was talking about with my roommate the other day about how elves have to live a more balanced lifestyle. And this man has gone from living a life of absolute turmoil and being okay with it, and now he has to adjust to this balanced lifestyle. So he's going a little insane.
Mm-hmm.
He needs
Not
the bird
having a
bomb.
good time.
I think that's the key here.
It's keeping it intact. But
Guys want to know something fucking hilarious?
Ah,
Apparently, I didn't record the video at the fuck all.
hey,
What?
let's
Oh,
go.
So
I
all we
mean,
have is audio.
MS Paint. Do it in MS,
MS
Paint.
Paint. It's like PowerPoint.
We'll fix it in post.
Microsoft PowerPoint.
Well, at least we got the audio though.
Yeah, that's,
Don't
that's
worry,
the most important part.
And
I'll
release
just
the audio.
choose a freeze frame for the whole fucking thing. Who cares?
Yeah.
we're taking
I'll
the
do
most
a
productive
do a
approach.
puppet show with the tokens.
That's way too much editing. No, freeze frame and it's fine.
Snape.
If you haven't
Severus
noticed, I haven't
Snape.
uploaded like the last fucking 4 or 5 sessions. You think I'm gonna bother editing?